Hello everyone, welcome to What If Quirkless Deku Was Bullied and Joined Chain Soldier movie. Before we start, please go support Lunatic Moon 26 for writing that awesome fanfic. Izuku Midoriya, a quirkless kid who dreamed on to becoming a hero, was bullied by his own classmates and former friend Katsuki Bakugou, and decided to tell him that he should take a swan dive off the roof of the building until he followed his advice, since he had enough on the bullying. He's given another chance to live on his second life into another world peacefully, but this time with the dangerous power inside him. The devil-filled measurement known as the Mato has opened to compromise all of humankind, and a sort of peach tree that develops there yields natural product that gives unique forces to the individuals who eat it, giving mankind a battling possibility. However, this solitary works only for ladies. Accordingly, as defenders of humankind, ladies ascend in economic well-being while men are consigned to pee and scratching for fundamental occupation and affirmation. What will happen if Izuku become friends along with Yuki Wakura? Will the both of them able to survive after they were put into another side of the human world that is filled with the devils known as shukis? Can they both save the human world with the help of Mato Defense Corps known as Anti-Demon Corps? Prologue: An immortal monster in human clothing. Izuku, better write some notes down before I forget anything. Put down his phone in his pocket, and about to put his notebook on the bag. Katsuki then takes the hero notebook from Izuku's hand while still looking at him. I don't know what you think you're doing, Deku, but we're not done. Bakugou's Goon 1 and 2 comes behind him. Bakugou's Goon 1, what you got? His diary? Katsuki, show Izuku's notebook to his goons. Bakugou's Goon 2, huh? Don't tell me you're taking note on how to be a hero. Bakugou's Goon 1, that's so pathetic, laughing at it. Bakugou's Goon 2, his delusional, laughing at it as well while scratching his head. Izuku, stand up from his desk. Leave me, guys, just give it back. Katsuki, use his quirk to burn the notebook. Izuku got shocked on what Katsuki did on his notebook while Katsuki show his notebook to him. That's so mean. Katsuki, throw his notebook on the window outside. Izuku, still shocked on what Katsuki did on his notebook while his hands are now shaking. Katsuki, those first-string heroes show up the potential early. The people on look at them and know they are destined for greatness. When I'm the only student from this garbage junior high to get to UA, people will start talking about me like that. They realize that I'm legit the next big thing, then look down with eyes closed while showing his egotistical smile at Izuku. That's not ego talk, I just know I'm good. Bakugou's Goon 2, ego, then whispers some word that Katsuki can't hear while slightly look behind. Katsuki puts his hand on Izuku's shoulder while release some black smoke on it. Here's the little word of advice, nerd, then smiled at him with full of ego. Don't even think about applying or else. Izuku, too scared to talk back on Katsuki. Bakugou's Goon 2, that just sad. I thought you have some fight and you still looking back at Izuku while walking away. Bakugou's Goon 1, he finally gets it. He'll never be a hero, better find out now instead of later, I guess, walking away while looking at Izuku. Katsuki stops walking towards the door and looked back at Izuku while his goons follow him behind. You know, if you want to be a hero that badly, there actually might be another way. Just pray for a quirk in your next life and take a swan dive off the roof of the building. Izuku gets angry at what Katsuki just said to him and looked at him with angry face. Katsuki suddenly released some small explosions on his hand, showing it to Izuku. Something wrong? Looking at Izuku with the same expression. Izuku, scared to do anything about it and start thinking about Katsuki just said, all I have to do is follow Kaken's word, take a swan dive off the roof of the building, but my mom will be worried about me. I'm sorry, Mom, but I can't take it anymore. Runs off to the rooftop of his school and goes to the edge of the rooftop. I'm sorry, Mom, I hope you can forgive me for doing this, then jumps off the building while leaving all his stuff on the classroom. 10 months later, Luna's POV. No pro-heroes are seen to be investigating the incident about a student who takes suicide at Albera High. Inko was really devastated by this accident that happened to her only son and kills herself in their apartment. No one cares about Izuku's suicide, and Katsuki was already on the UA High and Hero course as a Class 1A student until Katsuki realized something one day that will made him realize his own mistake and goes back to his old junior high school after the Hero class. Then he saw Izuku was actually alive. Izuku, wakes up on the pool of his own blood. Why am I still alive? I should be dead by now, then looked around and he was still in his old junior high school. Katsuki, surprised to see Izuku was still alive after he followed his advice. Deku is still alive. But how? Notice someone coming and hide behind the tree while trying his best not to get caught by Dean and Izuku. Dean walks out of the portal. Why hello there Izuku Midoriya. Izuku looked at Dean. Hello mister, can I ask what's your name? Dean, I'm Dean M. Rabbit, a demon emperor of destruction and creation. Izuku, demon emperor? So demons are real? Dean, demons are real Izuku, but you just can't see it, just like your childhood friend, Katsuki Bakugou. Izuku, wait, then that means Kaken is a demon? Dean, Katsuki has an attitude of a demon and like to show off his power even though it's not that powerful. Izuku, not powerful? Kaken's power is very strong and powerful. Dean, Izuku, do you want to know who have the strongest power? Izuku, strongest power? What do you mean by that? Dean, well Izuku Midoriya, you have a very strong power that makes you immortal in a young age. Izuku, so I'm immortal now? But how? The doctor said that I don't have a quirk. Dean, that's the problem Izuku, because it's not a quirk you people keep talking about. Izuku, wait, it's not a quirk? What is it then? Dean, do you know about the history of SCP Foundation and how they all got destroyed? Izuku, yeah, I searched it on the internet and it says there's only one SCP that can destroy all the facilities. Dean, that's right Izuku, and it also said that this SCP is really hard to kill. Even with the technology on our side, it's still not enough to take it down or kill it. Izuku, what kind of SCP was it that they were trying to kill but failed to do so? Dean, the SCP we are talking about is called SCP-682, and it's also known as the hard-to-destroy reptile. Izuku, the hard-to-destroy reptile. Shocked to hear the nickname of a SCP that destroys all the SCP facilities. Dean, yes Izuku, and it seems the power of SCP-682 is yours now. So what will you do with that dangerous kind of power? Will you destroy this world and humans, or will you use it for the greater good? The choice is yours now Izuku. Izuku, trying to make a decision on what will he do with his new destructive power. I made my decision now. Dean, so what's your decision now Izuku? Izuku, I'm going to use this power for good and protect all the people. I don't care if they all call me a monster or villain. Dean, I have a perfect world where you can use that dangerous power of yours. Izuku, really? What kind of world is it, Dean? Dean, but remember, in that world, only the females will have the power and males are all powerless except for one male. Izuku, only one male have the power? Dean, yeah, but you just have to figure that out and know who is that guy Izuku. Izuku, okay then take me to that world you are talking about. Dean, you just need to enter the portal and it will automatically put you on that world, then throws a teleportation device to another world on the ground and a portal appear. You can go in now Izuku. Izuku, sigh, I've made my choice and I won't turning back now. Went inside the portal, then it automatically closes. Dean, takes the teleportation device on the ground, show them in that world who is the real devil Izuku, or should I say SCP-682 opened the portal and when it to return to his own world, then it automatically closed. Katsuki, still standing behind the tree while listening into their conversation. Deku is the SCP-682? Why? I thought he was a human bee, but he's actually an immortal monster in a human clothing. Still surprised and scared on what he just heard from Dean and Izuku's conversation. I think I should not let anyone know about this, then quickly runs away and left his old junior high school. Chapter 1, Mato Disaster and Monster from Another World. And without further ado, let us begin our conference. In the year 2020, the concept of gender equality was no more, with the appearance of another dimension called Mato. Public High School Kaminoge. Make sure to finish before the bell rings. Claps his hands. Yuki starts cleaning the floor while sweating and panting shit. They boss us around day in, day out, swipe his sweat on his face. Yuki Wakura, third-year student in Public High School Kaminoge. He have many likes, but he really loves to clean, and Yuki is also Izuku's favorite senpai since he wants to be a hero just like him in his past life. But hey, thanks to you, we can take it easy, holding a ball on his hand while he's smiling at Yuki. Yuki then looked at them while still sweating so much. And here are the ladies' tardy arrivals looking at the window, and saw the girls have arrived while holding a stick. Yuki, that's just the way it is. Men can't receive any blessings from the peaches. 2 ladies were seen using their blessings from a peach. The first one is floating while the other one is carrying her things with her hair. Yuki, our lives are on the hard mode from the get-go, looking outside at the window while cleaning, and saw the boy is holding a lady's hand. What the? When did they get together? Oh, that? Saw on what is Yuki pointing at? Kneeled down on his knee with action apparently. He asked for the courtesy of dating her after saying it was thanks to her he won the competition. Yuki, so athletic people really are popular. Must be good, grinning his teeth. I heard your incredibly high cleaning skills will be in high demand some years from now, Yuki. Yuki, except I want to be popular now. When they are riding in a train. In female exclusive transport have many vacant to go and sit, while in male exclusive transport, all males are trying their best breath inside cause they all are looked like in a rush hour with no seats. Sigh, I feel down just knowing I'll be a working adult soon. The commute train sucks walking back home with Yuki. Yuki, saw his button about to fall. Your button is about to fall. Checks on what Yuki just said and saw it. Yuki, already have a kit, leave it to me. Begun working on fixing the button of his friend. Oh, thanks. You really are good at this kind of stuff. Yuki, because my sis drilled that into me. She said that I should polish my hand skills as men can't get abilities. Why do you need such an abilities then? Yuki-senpai appeared on their back without being noticed by Yuki and his friend. Yuki and looked behind and saw someone wearing with a very similar uniform as the 2 of them. What's your name? Izuku. Hi, I'm Izuku Midoriya, a second-year student in public high school. Kaminoge smiled at Yuki and his friend. Izuku Midoriya, a second-year student in public high school. Kaminoge. He likes to observe all things that interest him, including the abilities all of the ladies received from the peaches, and he's a student with high grades in the whole second years. But no one knows that he have an ability similar with the females. Yuki, so you are our kohai then? Still looking at Izuku. Izuku, yes, Yuki-senpai, and also why are you so good with the housework stuff? Yuki, I had to do housework, or I'd be in for punishment, shaking while he's thinking on about the punishment his sister giving to him. Izuku, and I feel sorry for you, sweating while looking at Yuki. But during the Mato disaster didn't your sister? Yuki looked at his friend and fake his smile at him. Izuku then noticed the fake smile on Yuki's face. Yuki, walking back to his house with Izuku. He's right though, I'll soon be a working adult. Izuku, will you be able to get a job after your graduation then, senpai? Yuki, I know that Midoriya, I have to get a job after the graduation, but am I just going to work and pass away like everyone else? Didn't know what was happening around them. Izuku, then have already noticed the sudden misty and something are not right. If I have to guess, this mist will lead us to. Yuki, frustrated, no way, is there nothing better out there? A place where I can be of importance. Izuku, Yuki-senpai, whatever you do please stay calm, warns Yuki about something that will happen. Yuki, this evening is really misty, sweat drop. I can't see anything? Tried to cover his eyes with his hand. Izuku protected both of his eyes with his hand as well. Yuki opened his eyes and got surprised on where he was now, shocked. Too shocked to speak. Izuku looked in front of them and recognized it. So this is the another dimension that Dean was talking on about. What was the name? Oh, right, it's called Mato. Yuki, surprised to see that he was in the another dimension called Mato. Izuku, are you okay now, Yuki-senpai? Look worried on about Yuki's safety. Yuki, and no way, is this Mato? Still shocked that he appeared on a Mato. Some decades ago, mysterious entrances suddenly appeared all over Japan. Beyond those entrances was another dimension with around the same area as the Tokyo metropolitan area. It was called the demonic metropolis, Mato. In Mato, there's the thread of the Yamatsu Shuki, and a resource called Peach, that grants special abilities if eaten. Peaches does not give special abilities to male. And so, this former power differences between men and female crumbled. To place the gates to Mato under government surveillance, a new organization was created. A unit specialized in battle, it is composed entirely and exclusively of women who received power from the Peaches. The Anti-Demon Corps. Yuki suddenly started to shake. Calm down. There should be a manual on my phone. Checks out his phone and heard something from the phone. Phone, deliver a recorder in regards to the Mato disasters. The canado that connects to Mato, popularly known as the gates. Although usually affixed to one place, some of them can appear in unexpected places. Izuku, listening to the phone silently while Yuki's panicking. Phone, cases where injury is caused due to ordinary citizens getting lost in Mato or shuki coming out into the real world are called Mato disasters. Yuki then remembered something on his mind. I see, 5 years ago, my sister also went missing and it was classified as a Mato disaster. Phone, if the two of you get lost in the Mato, avoid moving needlessly and wait for rescue from the Anti-Demon Corps. Yuki, gotcha, we sure as hell won't move, but he started panicking now. Shuki appeared in front of Yuki and looks down at him. Yuki, body goes pale for a second before he runs away. Shuki, about to chase after Yuki but got destroyed by Izuku's fist. Izuku, protecting Yuki by using his own power. Yuki, surprised to see Izuku have an ability. Why you have an ability like the ladies in our world? Izuku, I'm sorry Yuki-senpai, but this is not a normal ability. The ladies had turned around and showed Yuki his right arm that changed into a monster's arm. Yuki, what are you and Midoriya? Starts to walk back a bit from him. Izuku, run now Yuki-senpai, I'll be dealing with them while you wait for the rescue to arrive. Looks back to the shukis. Yuki, got it, started to run away from Izuku and the shukis to looked in for a safe spot then wait for the rescue. Izuku, now then started to change his form from human to monster that almost killed all the humanity because of its hatred. Time for you all to die. Rushed in towards all of the shukis on high speed. Shukis started to attack Izuku as well. Izuku, monster form, have easily destroying all of the shukis with his claws and screamed at it. Shukis started to rise up from the ground then attacks Izuku, monster form. Izuku, monster form, started killing them all again with his claws and used his ability power, air manipulation, to kill some immediately. Shukis got destroyed by Izuku's attacks, but some managed to combine with each other. Izuku, monster form, looked up and saw a giant shuki in front of him. Giant shuki screamed at Izuku, monster form, before making its final move. Izuku, monster form, screamed back and started to attack it. Giant shuki was about to kill Izuku, monster form, with a big fist. Izuku, monster form, destroyed the entire body with his claws and his air manipulation. Giant shuki started to disappear in front of Izuku. Izuku then changed back to his real human form and looked behind at the shuki he just destroyed. Chapter 2, Chief of the 7th Unit, and Yuki's slave form. Dean's POV. Yuki and Izuku was now heading home when Yuki's friend went a different way back while the duo was talking with each other. Then, a sudden mist came by towards them and Izuku noticed something wrong while Yuki have no clue on what's going on until they arrive to the Mato, a dimension that is filled with devils called Jamatsu Shuki and a peaches that can grant ability to the females. Yuki was starting to panic, while Izuku remained calm until Yuki get his phone and listened to the recording on his phone until one shuki appeared on his back ready to kill him. Yuki turned around and saw a shuki for the first time, then starting to get scared until Izuku protected him by changing his right into a monster hand, while Yuki was surprised that Izuku have an ability just like all of the females, but he told Yuki that it's not a normal ability, and shown him his right hand. Shukis started to rise up from the ground then attacks Izuku, monster form. Izuku, monster form, started killing them all again with his claws and used his ability power air manipulation to kill some immediately. Shukis got destroyed by Izuku's attacks, but some managed to combine with each other. Izuku, monster form, looked up and saw a giant shuki in front of him. Giant shuki screamed at Izuku, monster form, before making its final move. Izuku, monster form, screamed back and started to attack it. Giant Shuki was about to kill Izuku monster form with a fist. Izuku monster form destroyed the entire body with his claws and his air manipulation. Giant Shuki started to disappear in front of Izuku. Izuku then changed back to his real human form and looked behind at all the Shuki he destroyed. With Yuki Wakura. Yuki, still running away to find a safe spot and wait for the rescue to arrive. Shuki makes a noise and appears on behind Yuki. Yuki, UWAAH. Start running away. Shuki, some started to appear and start on chasing after Yuki. Yuki, this is too much. I was tired of those boring days, sure. Shuki already appeared behind Yuki without him looking back. Yuki stops on running in when he noticed the Shuki, but not like this. I don't want to end it like saw a human shadow riding at the top of the Shuki. Riding a Shuki heading towards Yuki. Yuki, a human, surprised on what he just saw, moves in front of Yuki to be already under attack. Lady Luck isn't on your side. Hide behind my back. Yuki goes to hide behind S back. Takes out her katana in her scabbard. It's time to submit. Start on killing all the Shukis while she's riding on the back. Shuki killed the one she's riding on. Jump back while killing some of the Shuki tch. This one is too weak. Yuki, still shocked and surprised on what he just saw. Kyuka, you're the victim of the Mato disaster, correct? Katana was filled with the Shuki's blood. I am the chief of the 7th unit of the Anti-Demon Corps. Kyuka Yuzan turned around and looked at Yuki with some blood on her face. Rest assured, you're in safe hands. Yuki blushed a bit at Kyuka before he noticed something. Yuki and Kyuka noticed all of the Shuki are coming towards them. Shukis start on running towards Yuki and Kyuka. Yuki start to get scared. We were in deep shit. Kyuka activates her peach ability on one of the Shuki behind them. Yuki then turned around and saw Kyuka have activate her own peach ability on a Shuki. Kyuka hop on. Gets on the back of the Shuki. Yuki, huh? Oh, okay. Hops on the Shuki's back and hugged Kyuka's waist tightly. Kyuka starts on killing all of the Shukis in their way while leaving. Shuki then suddenly appeared on Kyuka's back. Kyuka dodged to the right. Order the Shuki. Shuki, I didn't follow the order. Kyuka, his reaction is slow, jumps out from the Shuki they were riding at while Yuki's still hugging her. Shuki slice down the Shukis they both are riding. Kyuka killed the Shuki who killed the one they're riding and landed on the ground with Yuki. Shuki about to get closed at Yuki. Yuki still very scared at the Shuki UWH. Kyuka takes out some talisman and puts it on the ground, then stabbed it to activate a simple barrier to protect the two of them. Shuki attacks the both of them but blocked by a simple barrier. Yuki, still surprised and scared at the same time. Kyuka, I formed a simple barrier. Don't fret. Yuki, but it looks like it'll break? Notice that the Shuki is trying to break the barrier. Kyuka, I could make it somehow if I were by myself. My peach's blessing, it's a real failure of a power even for me. Even if you're strong yourself, Kyuka, your power is kind of. Becoming the leader is a dream that couldn't be more far off. Kyuka, screw that. I'll definitely lead all the other chiefs. I will become the leader. Yuki, still scared to the Shuki in front of him, while the barrier is now being almost destroyed. Kyuka, I've no choice now. I have not yet verified that men wouldn't be of use. But I'll have to make up my mind, gripping her fist too hard and looked at Yuki. What's your name? Yuki, it's Wakura, Yuki Wakura. Kyuka, Yuki, there's a way for us to get out of this, but you're going to have to do your part, too. Yuki, I'll do anything if it can save us. Happy that Kyuka have an idea. Kyuka, well said. Then I'll make you my slave. Yuki, surprised on what he heard from Kyuka. What? Izuku, from afar watching the two at the cliff and have already killed all the Shuki on it. What will you do now, Yuki-senpai? Kyuka, my power draws out and makes use of the strength of the living beings I enslave. Yuki, then finally realized the peach ability that Kyuka have after seeing her riding the shuki with a chain on its neck. Kyuka, explaining her peach ability, if you yourself are strengthened, we can escape from this alive, grabbing Yuki's neck. Yuki, why you're telling me that I'll fight these guys? Kyuka, then put Yuki down on the ground while she's at the top of him. You said you'd do anything to save us both, did you not? Takes off one of her gloves. Yuki, but telling me to become your slave all of a sudden, and oh way. Kyuka, reach out her hand in front of Yuki. It's time to submit. Yuki, still shocked but didn't even talk back. At that moment ladies' feet were now shown. Who had never come in contact with a girl, as if it were the natural and obvious thing to do, saw Kyuka's finger in front of him, saw her stretched out finger and licked the finger and started to change his form. Kyuka, surprised on she's seeing in right now. This is Yuki, being covered by the light while the chain was seen outside the barrier along with the light. Izuku then saw something was now happening in the barrier. So you've finally achieved a slave form now, huh? Yuki, Chains of Eternity slave, changing form of Yuki was now complete. Kyuka, surprised to see Yuki in his slave base form. Izuku, show me how strong your base form now, Yuki-senpai. Kyuka, happy on seeing the result. Wonderful. I didn't expect you to be this strengthened. Shukis, already destroyed the barrier and ready to kill them. Yuki, Chains of Eternity slave, then looked at the Shukis who destroyed the barrier. Kyuka, alright. Try on using your power, Yuki. Yuki, Chains of Eternity slave, immediately destroyed the Shukis in front of them while Kyuka was already riding on his back. Kyuka saw the incoming attack, jump to the right. Yuki, Chains of Eternity slave, followed the command and jump on the right when the Shuki attacks him. Kyuka, riding on Yuki's back, his reactions are also wonderful, really happy that her peach ability didn't fail on her this time. Shuki's starting to form the giant Shuki to kill them both. Kyuka, charge in, Yuki. Then start charging in towards the giant Shuki, throw all you into him. Yuki, Chains of Eternity slave, then went to charged in towards the giant Shuki in front of them to destroy it down. Giant Shuki suddenly got destroyed down immediately with Kyuka and her new-found slave boy Yuki, Chains of Eternity slave. Izuku saw Yuki, Chains of Eternity slave, have finally destroyed the giant Shuki in a seconds on his base form. Your base form is really strong. I'll see you in next time, Yuki-senpai, then starts to walk away from the cliff after seeing the battle. Yuki changes back to human form. Landed on the ground. Kyuka landed on the ground with both of her feet. Yuki, cough cough. Kyuka, you surprised me. I did not expect you to have that much power. Yuki, sweating a lot. Well, what the hell just happened? Kyuka, you can keep on working for me as a slave. Start to walk towards Yuki, but for that there's something I must tell you about my ability. Yuki saw Kyuka's hand touch his face, but he really didn't know what's going, huh? Kyuka suddenly kissed Yuki in the lips. Yuki eyes widens when he saw Kyuka was kissing him in his lips. Chapter 3: The Fight and Becoming a Caretaker. Dean's POV. Yuki was trying all his best to wait for the rescue while Izuku was left behind to intercept all the Shuki by fighting them all, but Yuki didn't really know his full power while he keeps on running away from them. Some of the Shukis also started to rise up from the ground and started on chasing after the running Yuki until he found another in front of him, and now ready to accept for his death, but saw a human in its back riding while still going to attack its fellow Shukis. Then, the rider of it jumps back to dodge the strike but let the Shuki killed, and the rider had introduced her name as Kyuka Yuzan to the scared Yuki until they saw another hordes of Shuki are coming towards the two of them. Yuki was now really scared while Kyuka found one Shuki and used her peach ability on it for them to escape the hordes, but they were unlucky cause some Shukis have managed to reach them and Kyuka tries to command the Shuki but for some reason it didn't listen to her. Luna, bro, you are a hard worker. How watching Dean while he's writing a chapter. Dean looked behind and saw Luna's watching him writing a chapter. I'm just writing everything what's on my mind. Luna, so you only write everything that came up to your mind, bro? Dean, yeah, and for some reason I don't really like where this is going. Luna, what do I realized what is Dean was talking about and starts on laughing at him. Dean, what do you think is funny, sis? Confused. Luna, if you want to know about it then read the manga, bro. Dean, I'd rather do my own job than to read that manga, sis. Luna, suit yourself, then left the room. Dean sighs, what's so interesting on about that manga anyway? Then continues writing a chapter. After they jump back away from the shuki they're riding on, Kyuka brings out a talisman and stabbed it with her katana, activated the simple barrier to protect them in a while. I will skip this now. Kyuka, you can keep on working for me as a slave. Start to walk towards Yuki, but for that there's something I must tell you about my ability. Yuki saw Kyuka's hand touch his face, but he really didn't know what's going, huh? Kyuka suddenly kissed Yuki in the lips. Yuki eyes widens when he saw Kyuka was kissing him in his lips. Kyuka stopped on kissing Yuki in his lips while still looking at him. So that's your deal, you horny mutt. Yuki still looking on at Kyuka as well? Kyuka, the compensation for my ability. Once the mission was over, I, as the master, have the duty to give my slave a reward fitting for their work. Yuki, blushing so hard, a reward, a kiss is the reward? Kyuka, you worked quite a bit. Will you have another one? Tried to touch Yuki's face again. Yuki, WHA. Still surprised and oh. I'm good. I'm the one who's been saved, so you don't have to look back at Kyuka and notice something. Kyuka tried to get her face close to Yuki again. Yuki, blushing while looking at her until he noticed her blushing as well. Kyuka, blushing as well. Even I did not expect it'd come to this. Start to crawl towards Yuki. Just giving the shuki some pork when I made them slave was enough. Yuki, what do you mean? Kyuka then pulled Yuki's face with both of her hands. My body moves on its own, with no regards to my will. This is the compensation for my power. Show her tongue and tried to use it to kiss Yuki. I thought I did not mind it, but started on kissing Yuki again. Yuki, still blushing on what's going on in front of him. Dean started on blushing so hard. Why? Why do I have to do this? Luna entered the room after she heard a loud noises on Dean's room and see what he's writing. Dean, still blushing hard. This is why I don't read this manga at all. Luna, start on reading what Dean's writing a chapter before reading the manga and looked at Dean's face. Dean, start blushing so much that his face was now red. I really don't like this kind of reward at all. Luna, starts on laughing at her twin brother's hard blushing face. Wow, I didn't know that you don't like this manga because of its reward? Dean, of course, I don't like it. Still blushing. Luna keeps on laughing at Dean. Dean, stop laughing at me, will you? Luna, I'll stop on laughing at you for now. Dean sighs, this is going to be pain in the head. Kyuka separates herself to Yuki after giving him the reward of her power. Yuki, still blushing while thinking, my first kiss, I never thought it would happen in Mato. Kyuka then looks down at all of the shukis. They killed these shuki. If one were to leak into our world, dozens of casualties would happen. Yuki, Mato disasters appear on the news from time to time. Kyuka, my objective is to become the leader of the anti-demon corps, and bring an end to those shuki as soon as possible. The current leader is lax. With you, I can use my power to its fullest and I'll able to go after the seat of leader. Looked back at Yuki. Work for me, Yuki. Yuki, surprised and still looking at Kyuka before he started doubting in himself, but I am not specially smart or good at any sports. At most, I'm only confident at housework. Kyuka, I'll welcome someone good at housework with open arms. Yuki, surprised on what he heard. Why? Start thinking back on what happened to his life before saying his words. In that case, I want to become a hero here. Kyuka looked at Yuki before she smiled at him. We have a deal. Yuki, even if I got a job in the other world, all that would wait for me are stiff and uneventful days, but if I stay here, I can slay shuki like just some moments ago. And I can get revenge for my sister. Also then start to look at Kyuka. If I can get rewards from Kyuka-san, that means my efforts are bearing fruit. Started on smiling at Kyuka. Anti-Demon Corps 7th Unit Dorm. Yuki saw the Anti-Demon Corps 7th Unit Dorm. It looks like an inn. the Anti-Demon Corps' dormitory looks more normal than I expected. Kyuka, standing beside Yuki while looking at the 7th unit dorm, it seems to have been originally built by the Mato exorcists, so a strong barrier protects it. Looked at Yuki. Feel free to go in. It's your new workplace. Yuki, yes. Start walking towards the dorm. I see, I can also become one, started thinking himself while wearing the anti-demon uniform, a member of the anti-demon corps. And, standing in the door while? Is leaning on a wall waiting for Kyuka and saw Yuki. Himari, URGH, it really is a man. Feels disgusted at Yuki while her hand are crossed in her chest. Shoo, I'm from an all-girls high school, so I never had a chance to look at the man. It's kind of funny. Seems to be happy to see a man for the first time. NEIP, please treat us well, caretaker. Happy to see Yuki in their dorm as caretaker. Yuki, shocked to see the members in 7th unit, while being surprised on what he heard from NEI. Kyuka, these are the members of the unit who live here. There are others, but they're out for business right now. Yuki, what did she mean by caretaker? Sweating while looking at Kyuka. Kyuka, I'll have you become my slave during battles, but any other time, I'll have you work here as a caretaker. Yuki, HUH. Surprised at what she said to him. Kyuka, start explaining everything. These girls are certainly strong, but they're still bunch of misfits. Putting the shuki on scene as well, we never got to place the caretaker duty on anyone. You, who's experienced in housework, came at just the right time. Yuki, wait, wasn't I going to become a member of the Anti-Demon Corps? Kyuka, a man becoming part of the Anti-Demon Corps is not possible. Yuki got stunned on what he heard from Kyuka and started sweating. I am still a high schooler, and I have to find a job soon. I also have to tell my parents, and there are also a bunch of things I can't just rush through, so thinking to try and escape but caught by Kyuka. Kyuka, I'll handle all of that. Smiling at him while holding the hood. Yuki looked surprised and scared at the same time. Himari, have already carrying a bag of trash in her hands. If trash starts piling up, dispose it. Throws the bag of trash in his face. Shoo, I'm pretty hungry, so make some food. Gives some ingredients and a pan. Kyuka takes off her polo and throw it into Yuki's face. I'll have you wash my uniform. Start walking inside the dorm with the members. Yuki, hold on. His tears are already seen on his face. What are you making me do so soon? NEI, it's okay. Yuki then looked behind and saw NEI smiling at him. NEI joined the 7th unit not long ago. Relax, I'll support you as your senior. Yuki, thank you. How old are you? NEI is 11. Himari, pointing her finger at Yuki, she is your superior in the 7th unit, so do not disobey her. Still angry at him. Yuki immediately got scared. An elementary schooler, my superior? Aren't I going to be boss around even more openly than in the other world in here? Did my plan to become a hero and become super popular just go up in smoke? A slave and a caretaker, low down his head. Kyuka, that aside. Yuki shows her hand to him. Yuki slowly looks up to Kyuka. Kyuka, welcome to the Mato Elite Troops 7th unit, welcoming Yuki in their dorm, while Himari still angry at him. Meanwhile with Izuku, destroying every shuki who attacks him. Is there anyone who can bring me a fight? Looking at destroyed shukis with his monster arms. And, slowly flying down from the sky. Izuku then looked up and saw 3 unknown people are flying down on sky. This is a surprising. Looked around and saw all the shuki were all destroyed. This obsolete can manage to take down all the shukis, but he's still not enough to take me down. Izuku, how about I'll show it to you now? Takes on his fighting stance. I'll handle this man. Start to walk towards Izuku. Hey! Let me handle that. OBS got sent flying backwards. And, surprised to see? Was sent backwards and didn't notice Izuku at all. Izuku, half monster, you know I'm tired of hearing your arrogant voice all the time but can't back it up. Have already turned into half monster. Rushed in towards Izuku to land a blow on him. Izuku, half monster, his senses have alerted him an incoming attack to his back and did the thing? Well, about to do. Chapter 4, 3 Gods and the Uncontrollable Monster. Izuku's POV. When Yuki-senpai achieved his slave form from the Anti-Demon Corps, the 7th Unit Chief, I immediately leave after knowing he will be fine with her while I'm still wandering around killing and destroying every shuki who have come across me until the 3 people came from the sky head slowly going down and saw all the area full of all destroyed shukis. Izuku, half monster, you know I'm tired of hearing your arrogant voice all the time but can't back it up, have already turned into half monster. Rushed in towards Izuku to land a blow on him. Izuku, half monster, his senses have alerted him an incoming attack to his back and did the thing? Well, about to do. And Izuku, half monster, delivered a punch against each other. And got shocked and surprised to see that a human male was capable of matching someone like them. Izuku, half monster, increasing his strength GGRRHHH. Start on overpowering the fist. Surprised on what's happening but trying her best to match the power. Then makes a move and about to attack Izuku, half monster, on his back. Izuku, half monster, a tail-like whip start to appear at his back and goes on attack? To defend him. Is he even a human? Shocked on what she just saw. Sent back flying after taking the hit. What the FCK was that? Izuku, half monster, overpowers the fist of a god. Starter to get overpowered in the strength. Izuku, half monster, then delivers a heavy punch on the face of. Sent flying backwards after being overpowered in strength and landed on the ground while rolling. Shukis started to appear all of the sudden anywhere. Attack! Commands the shukis to attack Izuku, half monster, while still following the shukis behind. Izuku, half monster, looked behind and started on releasing some kind of a deadly aura. Gods suddenly feels something have shaken them through their spines. Izuku, half monster, turned around and start rushing towards the shukis. Shukis, still rushing towards him. Izuku, half monster, start destroying the shukis with ease. Tries to stand on her feet and look in front of her only to see a massacre. Izuku, half monster, standing on all of destroyed shukis around him. Rushed in and tries to attack him. Izuku, half monster, dodge all of the attacks from? Stands up and rushed in towards Izuku, half monster, once again. Dean, I don't know how to write a fighting scene in this story size. Luna, you didn't know about it? Jason, that's kinda surprising to be honest. Dean, what do you mean by that? Looked at Jason. Freddy, well, Jason means that how didn't you know on how to write a fighting scene while you're always in a battle? Jason, yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can write a fighting scene in a story. Dean, I remember it but I can't write all of the fights I have. Luna, this really become a problem now, huh? Freddy, I think I know what to do. Dean, can you show it to us then? Stands up from his seat. Freddy, sure, went to Dean's seat. Izuku, half monster, poison needle. Send some needles that was made of poison too. While rushing on him. Protects himself from the attack. Izuku, half monster, appeared in front of. And delivers a blow with the poison on his fists. Took the hit and sent backwards. Izuku, half monster, rushed in again towards. Summons her wings and flies on towards Izuku, half monster, to fight him again. Izuku, half monster, turns around and ready his fist to deliver a punch. Appeared in front of Izuku, half monster, and tries to deliver a punch. Izuku, half monster, then delivered a punch as well. And Izuku, half monster, starts on exchanging blows on against each other while Izuku, half monster, have increased his punches while tries to match it all with hers. About to make a move and attack Izuku, half monster, while fighting. Suddenly stops him, let her fight the human alone, Ryren. Ryren, why won't you let me join in this fight, Shikoku? Looked at Shikoku. Shikoku, we can now see how strong this human when he's facing one of us gods. Ryren, but do you really think that this obsolete can go take us all down alone? Shikoku, with full power? I don't know, that's why we need to see him fight and H saw. Sent on flying backwards. Ryren, what the? Saw her got sent on flying backwards as well. Ryren and Shikoku looked in front of them and saw the monster. Izuku, monster form, screeches at the two before rushing. Rairin, I'm going now. Then opens his mouth and release an energy ball on it to directly hit Izuku, monster. Izuku, monster form, takes the hit directly. Shikoku, about to use her power on Izuku, monster form, as well. Shukis appeared out of nowhere and started to attack both Shikoku and Rairin. Rairin, how can this obsolete control the Shukis like us? Surprised that Izuku can control the Shukis like them. Shikoku, I don't know about it, but I think we should kill all the Shukis first. Start on killing all the Shukis. Rairin, for once, I'll agree with you now, Shikoku. Start on killing all the Shukis as well. Stands up and saw many Shukis have surround her. Izuku, monster form, still looking on at, while growling like a wild beast. GGRR. Shukis starts rushing in towards and attacked her. How can he start destroying all the Shukis who attacked her? Izuku, monster form, I can't keep on using this monster form because it's so very too dangerous for me to handle it with no practice, trying all his best to hold on the monster form. Gods, already destroy all the Shukis that was completely manipulated on by Izuku, monster form. Izuku, monster form, started on screeching at the gods while his tail pointed their spikes at them. Rairin, do you think you can scare me like that, you obsolete? Know your place. Opens its mouth and release an energy ball at Izuku, monster form. Izuku, monster form, takes the hit of Rairin's energy ball and the smoke had started to appear. Rairin, ha! Even an obsolete like you can speechless when the smoke have disappeared. Izuku, monster form, takes the hit with no bruises and scratches and still growling at them. GRRR. Shikoku, he's really not just a normal Shuki that we can just control over. About to attack Izuku, monster form, again after destroying all of the manipulated Shukis. Shikoku, Juryu, don't start attacking now. Stops Juryu on attacking Izuku, monster form. Juryu, why did you have to stop me now? Shikoku. Looking at Shikoku. Shikoku pointed her fingers at Izuku, monster form, eyes while shaking. Juryu looked in at Izuku's monster eyes and started to get her eyes widens after looking at it. Izuku, monster form, looking at the three gods, then screeched again, but more louder this time with more tails like spikes have appeared on his back. I'm going to borrow Carnage's scream or screech cause it's cool. Shikoku and Rairin immediately got intimidated by the deadly screech of Izuku, monster form. Juryu start to step back after being intimidated by the screeched. Izuku, monster form, the eyes were color crimson red with black slit, and it was now looking at them ready to kill. Gods start to leave the place before they were killed and got scared of the monster that Juryu had faced. Izuku, monster form, screeched one last time before turning back into his human form. Shukis all started to disappear into dust after being destroyed. Izuku, I am almost lost my control on that mons, then suddenly falls on the ground unconscious with his clothes not torn out. Portal opens and three chief girls are walking out of it. Then saw all of Shukis were now disappearing. What happened here before we have arrived? Looked chaos to me, saw all Shukis on the ground destroyed and starting to disappear. Saw Izuku's unconscious body on the ground. A male? Is he the second victim we need to rescue from this place? Still looking on at unconscious body of Izuku. What's wrong now? Goes look towards? Does the commander didn't know about what happened here? Looking back at? The commander have noticed it now and told us to investigate on what happened in this place. So where do we bring him in now? Pointed her finger at unconscious Izuku on as shoulder. I'll just bring him back to my unit dorm for now. Then, we'll have to investigate on what happened here. And we'll be reporting it back to the commander. We'll see you again on our next chief's meeting then. Tenka. Tenka, yes sure. Portal opens in her back and started walking in towards it, then closes after she goes through with unconscious Izuku body. Chapter 5, 6th Unit and Yuki's second slave form. So where do we bring him now? Points a finger at unconscious Izuku on as shoulder. I'll just bring him back to my unit dorm for now. Then, we'll have to investigate on what happened here. And we'll be reporting it back to the commander. We'll see you again on our chief's meeting then. Tenka. Tenka, yes sure. Portal opens in her back and started walking in towards it, then closes after she goes through with unconscious Izuku body. We should begin our investigation now and report it back to Commander. Nodded her head and start on the investigation with. In the 6th unit dorm. Tenka walks out from the portal and start walking to the free dorm to put him down. Saw Tenka. Chief. Where did you go? Tenka looked back and saw. Was looking at her carrying Izuku. Well, I just went somewhere to investigate on a place because the commander have noticed on something. The commander have noticed on something? Tenka, yeah, and when we arrived in the place, all of the shukis are down and killed on the ground. Chief, who you do think killed the shukis there? Tenka, we still don't know, that's why the other chiefs are investigating it. Who is that chief? Pointing her finger at unconscious body of Izuku. Tenka, well, this is the other person that we need to rescue. Wait, he's the other person? How didn't we know he's there? Tenka, still thinking about the reason on why he isn't with the other person that Kyuka rescued. Let me bring him into the vacant dorm, chief. Tenka, thank you. Yachiho then gives Izuku's unconscious body to Yachiho. Yachiho, no problem. Chief carried Izuku's unconscious body to a free room. Tenka, sighs, I think they are done with the investigation by now, but we should also be ready for our Mato exhibition game against the 7th unit. Jason's POV. Well, forgot to say that this chapter is right after Kyuka have announced that they will participate on a Mato exhibition game with all of the units on the chapter 9 of manga. With Yuki. Himari, eat her ramen on the table and likes it. This ramen has a good dashi. Yuki, holding something in both of his hands. You seem to like deep flavors, so I put in chicken, fat and staff. Himari, happy you have skills fit to be my slave. Yuki, makes a different expression with the sweat on his face. So, care to tell me why I'm gonna be your slave? Himari, is that any way to talk to me? I'm 1 year older than you, just so you know. Yuki, I'm not sure if you're someone I should speak politely to. Himari, I'm sure you heard it, the Mato exhibition games will happen. And I have to win at it. Yuki, washing the dishes. What are those exhibition games? Looking at Himari. Himari started to explain all about the exhibition games after she finished on eating her ramen. It was originally a way to settle disputes when we couldn't see eye to eye though. It's a contest between units, but it's a friendly one this time. From a list of events, the captains will pick one and participates in matches of those. Yuki started thinking on different games. I've got a bad feeling about it. There's a lot you could pick. Kyuka entered to the kitchen. We're picking a simple one-on-one this time. Himari and Yuki looked at who entered the kitchen and saw Kyuka. Kyuka, it'll be a straight challenge, using nothing but the abilities of our peaches. Walking towards Yuki and Himari. You're pissed at sister, aren't you? So go kick her, but clutched her fist while looking at them. While you can call it an exhibition game. Himari stands up from her seat and start walking towards Kyuka. Himari, thanks for giving me a chance to kick her, but, chief, have stars on her eyes while happily shouts at Kyuka. Kyuka, make sure to kick her butt, shouts at Himari. Yuki, surprised, is kicking butt all they can say. Kyuka, go out patrolling with Yuki as a test. But don't go to any areas that are out of our reach. Himari, yes. Start dragging Yuki. With Yuki and Himari driving in an area. Yuki, you still haven't told me what you mean by becoming your slave. Himari, driving. Turning my body into a weapon isn't my main ability. I just use it because it suits me well. Yuki, huh? Confused. Himari shows her phone to Yuki. This is my actual ability. Yuki then saw Chibi Kyuka on her phone and grabs a Kyuka-san? This kind of looks like a games card. Still looking at Himari's phone. Himari, noble aspiration, learning. By learning others, I can also use them. That is my power. Yuki, that's a really strong ability. Himari, I can use the ability of the person I said on my phone. In other words, right now I can use the chief's ability. Yuki, realize it. Hey, doesn't that? Himari, here they come. Saw a Shuki appear in front of them. Shuki appeared in front of them. Himari, drives through the shuki by crushing its face and slides the car to stop. Yuki, surprised on what Himari did on the shuki. Himari offered her right hand at Yuki. Yuki wipes out his sweat and saw the right hand of Himari in front of him. Himari, I already have Chief's permission. Turn into a slave. Yuki, surprised, hold up, do you know all the detail about this ability? Himari, slave, a slave once bound by the chains will remain a slave until death. The master has to give the slave a reward befitting the work they did. That's everything, isn't it? Yuki, it's about the reward. Himari, I heard I'd put my body on the line. That's just fine. If I can kick that family's, but then I'll gladly do the laundry or clean the dorm in this guy's place. Didn't think about the rewards compensation. Shukis started to rise up from the ground in front of them. Himari looked at the shukis, a lot of them came out. Hurry! Yuki got shocked and looked back at Himari. You should tell me this kind of stuff earlier. Himari, you'd definitely complain if I did. Still didn't move her right hand away, come on. Yuki, still looking at it before going to kneel down on the ground. Don't say I didn't warn you. Kissed her right hand. A light have suddenly covered both of them, and Yuki had transformed in his slave form, but with different from his base form. Yuki, slave whirlwind, standing on the ground with hands and feet, while Himari is now riding in his back. Himari, surprised to see that Yuki had different appearance. Your form isn't quite the same as the chief. Yuki, slave whirlwind, then feels something, this sensation. Notice the shuki. Shuki tries to strike at Yuki, but it missed. Yuki, slave whirlwind, disappear from his old position before going to appear in front of Shuki and tries to deliver a blow. Shuki took the blow from Yuki. Yuki, slave whirlwind, I can move super fast. Way faster than Kyuka-san. Saw the shuki is still fine. Shuki took the hit but didn't got killed by one blow. Yuki, slave whirlwind, noticed it. On the other hand, my strength fell. In this case, looked at all the shukis with serious look and start delivering a very fast blows on all of them. I just have to pummel them until they're all done. Shukis took a blow after blows from Yuki's rapid punch thanks on to his speed. Yuki, slave whirlwind, wiped out all of the shukis around them. Himari, surprised and happy at the same time, this is an amazing ability if you get someone fit to be a slave. I can her with this. Yuki transforms back to his human form. Himari walked towards Yuki. Nice work. I'll put you to good use as my slave in the exhibition games. Yuki, sweating a lot and wiped some of it with his left hand. I'm sure there were other abilities to pick. So why did you pick this one? Looking at Himari. Himari, looking at Yuki and got mad at him. Isn't this good for you? You got more work to do, even though you're a man. In fact, you should be grateful to raised her skirt up to show her panty at Yuki without knowing. Yuki, surprised but looked at it. Himari finally realizes it and starts to blush. WHAWI, this isn't what's going on. Just what? Yuki tries to look away from her while his face still blushing. You heard it from Kyuka-san, didn't you? About the ability prize? Himari, her face went pale a second after remembering what Kyuka have told her. Huh. So, putting my body on the line meant. Wait, but I can't even move my body. Yuki scratched the back of his head. It means the reward isn't over, I think? Himari then blushed even more after what Yuki said. WHA. Looks away while still blushing. With Izuku. Izuku, start waking up in the vacant dorm. Where am I? Start to seat on the bed. Yachiho and Tenka entered the room and saw Izuku is now finally awake. Izuku looked at who entered and saw two teen girls coming in. Tenka, you're finally awake now, that's good. Goes on to take the chair and sit in front of Izuku while the chair being placed in front of him with more space. Yachiho, just standing behind Tenka. Izuku, how long I was out then? Tenka, you're out only just 4 hours ago. Yachiho, luckily, the commander have sent 3 chiefs to investigate the place. Izuku, investigate? I think I've made a mess. Investigate about what? Tenka, about what happened to all the shukis there. Izuku, By the way, can I ask both of your names? Tenka, I'm the 6th Unit Chief, Tenka Izumo. Yachiho, and I'm the Vice Chief of 6th Unit, Yachiho Izuma. Tenka, can I ask what's your name? Izuku, my name is Izuku Midoriya, Tenka-san. Tenka, so you're the other person that we need to rescue then. Izuku, you were sent to rescue me? Yachiho, the 6th and 7th Chiefs were sent to rescue 2 people here in Mato, so I guess you're the second person. Tenka, when me and Kyujin came back to rescue you, you were not there. Yachiho, where were you that time? Izuku, I was wandering around this dimension. Yachiho, you do know that the Mato is filled with shukis everywhere, right? Izuku, yes, I know about that. I killed them all while I was looking around this new dimension. Tenka, I have a question for you then, Midoriya-kun. Izuku, what is it, Tenka-san? Tenka, do you know what happened to the shukis when we came to the place we were sent to? Izuku, suddenly he got tense on that question. No one should know that I was fighting 3 gods and shukis at the same time. I don't know what has happened there. Tenka and Yachiho noticed that Izuku tensed up when Tenka asked him what has happened. Yachiho, why did he tense up all of a sudden? Is he involved on it? Tenka, I see size. Do you want to come with us on the exhibition game? Izuku, exhibition game? Confused. Tenka, yeah, so do you want to come with us? Izuku, sure, because I want to see this exhibition game you're talking about, Tenka-san. Tenka, that settles it. Stands up on her chair. You can go back to rest or train yourself in our training room. Izuku, you have a training room here? Tenka, yeah, if you want you can just ask Yachiho about the direction of the training room. Izuku's harem and reason of Yuki's love interest. Yuki's love interests or harem. 1. Kyuka Yuzin, Chief of the 7th Unit. Peach ability, Eternal Chain Slave. Reason, at first, she is having a hard time to think that males can be useful, especially in her peach ability, until she tried to use it at Yuki, who is so scared to die from Mato. Later in the manga, she's starting to get possessive on him and start to develop some of her feelings in secret, but she hates to lend Yuki from any other girls. She's a jealousy and a possessive type girl. I don't what they call it. 2. Tenka Izumo, Chief of the 6th Unit. Peach ability, Heavenly Bird Life. Aim no Matori. Reason, simple, she's starting to develop a different feeling at Yuki when they first met. She admits that she likes him to have a family with her right in front of his sister on the manga, a straightforward type girl. 3. Himari Izuma, Vice Chief. Peach ability, Noble Aspirations, Learning. Reason, she also starting to develop a feeling for Yuki but didn't want to admit it, a tsundere type girl. 4. Aoba Wakura, Yuki's big sister. Peach's abilities, Hair Manipulation, Laser Beam and Argument Senses. Reason, she really do loves Yuki physically and emotionally. First time they met in Mato, she even describes Yuki as the world's most handsome man. She's a brother complex type girl. 5. Mira Kamionton, Chief of the 2nd Unit. Peach ability, Scarlet Regiment. All killing. Reason, on Yokohama, she starts to think when she saw Kyuka is naked and giving reward to Yuki, which she already knew about the compensation, but even for it was intense, and start to develop a feeling for him during their card date reward, a normal but a badass type girl. 6. Yakumo Ezo, Chief of the 5th Unit. Peach ability, Everlasting Darkness Dancing Group, Night Storm. Reason, when she asks Yuki if he is doing some kind of service to Kyuka, she somehow feels like she can let her guard down around Yuki, a carefree type girl. 7. Kusetsu 8, God of Thunder. Shuki power, Absorption. Reason, she's interested on Yuki after hearing it from Shokaku when she had entered on the 7th Unit dorm and wants to do the deed with him as well. When she saw one couple doing the deeds in a place she raided, she's a curious and a straightforward type girl. Izuku's harem or love interests. No one know his powers but only Yuki knows about it. 1. Ren Yamashiro, Commander and Chief of the 10th Unit. Peach ability, the infinite universe that puts everything together, Virokana. Reason, she's interested in Yuki but more interested in Izuku after the two chiefs explained their investigation on a certain place that they've found him laying on the ground unconscious, a dominant type girl. 2. Fubuki Azuma, chief of the 9th unit. Peach ability, sun-piercing spear, sunset. Reason: she didn't know Izuku at first until they all have noticed how Izuku takes out all the shukis on the screen that's going to raid the 10th unit dorm during the chief's meeting. She is still trying to figure out if Izuku is a strong and smart male or not. I don't know what type of girl is she. 3. Konomi Tatara, chief of the 1st unit. Peach ability, golden Shingi Quan, beast power. Reason: she's interested on Izuku after she have heard his name during the meeting and saw how strong he is by taking out all of the shukis alone on the screen. She also didn't know Izuku had ability like them but wants to be friend with him first, a friendly and curious type girl. 4. Yachiho Azuma, vice chief. Peach ability, Eastern engraving, golden hour. Reason: she's already had suspecting something is wrong with Izuku from the moment Tenka bring him to their unit dorm. At first, she wants to know what is Izuku's plan until he saw how he acts towards them, and she also starts to develop some feelings, but she didn't want to admit that, just like how she didn't want to admit that she really loves Himari as her little sister, a tsundere and sister complex type girl. 5. Varvara Pilipenko, chief of the 8th unit. Peach ability, unknown. Reason: she's already had suspecting something wrong about the incident happen on the place they investigate, which further proves that something was wrong when she saw how Izuku have taken out all the shukis down on the screen, a mysterious type girl. 6. Belt Tsukiono, chief of the 3rd unit. Peach ability, laughing Jirujin. Reason: at first, when Shikoku attacked the 3rd unit members alone, the last member that is still standing in her feet saw a person in front of them. But she didn't believe it until she heard it again on the chief's meeting and saw how Izuku takes out all the shukis on his own in the screen. She wants to be friends with him right after watching the fight, a shy and friendly type girl. Chapter 6. The Talk, Finishing Move, and Izuku Meets the Monster. Yuki and Izuku's last love interest. 1. Sahara Wakasa, 6th unit member. Peach ability, angry sheep, crazy sheep. Reason: she is also having a suspecting Izuku when he had come to their unit dorm, and she saw him on the training room doing some push-ups. Then she went to him, and she tried to ask him to have sparring session with her, and he agreed on it until she noticed how strong Izuku really is on their sparring session. She wants to be friends with him and to be his sparring partner as well, a lazy and friendly type girl. 2. Shushu Tsuruga, 7th unit member. Peach ability, Imperial Liberation, paradigm shift. Reason: she developed an interest in Yuki because she was enrolled in an all-girls school and hasn't had much interaction with another boy her age before. She's a carefree, teasing and curious type girl. Izuku's POV. Izuku: sure, because I want to see this exhibition game you're talking about, Tenka-san. Tenka: that settles it. Stands up on her chair. You can go back to rest or train yourself in our training room. Izuku: do you have a training room in here? Tenka: yeah, if you want you can just ask Yachiho about the direction of the training room. Leaves the room. Izuku then looked at Yachiho. So do you? Yachiho: just follow me since I'm also going there now. Leaves the room. Izuku: hey! Wait for me. Followed her. I leave my room and follows Yachiho in the training room in order for me to train myself, but I was loose in my thoughts that I was pulled into my own mindscape. At first, I was now wondering on where I was until I've heard a voice that is very deep, and when I turned around then I saw 4 spiked tails on its back and have the very deadly and monstrous face. It was talking to me about something. Izuku steps back. Who are you? SCP-682. The same monster who have destroys all the SCP facilities that are trying to contain me. Izuku: what do you want from me anyway? Scared. SCP-682. Where are we? I don't know this dimension we're in right now. Izuku: we're in a different dimension now, so what can I call you? SCP-682. You can just call me by my code name 682 since it's easy to say. Izuku: okay then 682, what do you want from me? SCP-682. I just wanted to see my host, so I pulled you into your mindscape. I'm surprised to hear that 682 wants to meet me personally, so he pulled me into my own mindscape, and I've noticed that something have changed about his personality as well. Cause from what I know, SCP-682 is one of the deadly SCP and a Keter class type from the files of the SCP Foundation when I was searching info on my PC. Izuku. For a monster like you, you're so kind to me. SCP-682. I guess my personality was changed when I was playing with the child. Izuku. What child is it? Tilt his head. SCP-682. It's a little girl, and she's also contained in one of the SCP facility. Izuku. What's her name? 682. 'Cause it seems to me that you really care about her a lot. SCP-682. Izuku, the code name of that little girl is SCP-053. Izuku. So all of you were being called by using the code names? SCP-682. Yes, we're all being called by our code names. Izuku. Do you have something to tell me, 682? SCP-682. You should never tell anyone about these power you possess except for your best friend. Izuku. Why is that 682? Already know the answer but still asked it. SCP-682. The power that you have possessed right now was belonged to me, Izuku. Izuku shocked. So that's when I had transformed into a monster like you. I have a mind of my own. SCP-682. Izuku, you can leave now or else the girl will be suspicious to you. Izuku. Okay, it was nice talking with you here, 682. After the meeting and talking with SCP-682 in my mindscape, then I beginning to wake up now and saw Yachiho, who is standing in front of me along with the other girl that is still looking at me with a weird and suspicious look. Izuku. Why are you two looking at me like that? Did I do something wrong? Yachiho and... No, it's alright, you didn't even do anything wrong, so don't worry. Izuku. Okay then, but still, why are you two looking at me like that? He's still confused. Why are you sleeping in the floor then? You do know we have a room in here, right? Izuku. I can't just tell them that I was pulled into my mindscape and have a talk with 682. Yachiho. Come on, let's just head to the training room right now. Starts walking. Yachiho really wants to train now, huh? That's weird. Izuku. What's so weird about that? Looking at? Usually she trains herself if she is frustrated or if she lost in the match. Izuku. Maybe she's frustrated now. Or she's maybe bored right now. Izuku. Can I ask what's your name? Sahara. My name is Sahara Wakasa, a member of the 6th unit. So what's your name? Izuku. I'm Izuku Midoriya. It's nice to meet you, Sahara-san. I put my hand out trying to shake a hand with her, and Sahara-san just shakes it. Then both of us went to the training room in order to train for ourselves since we're kinda bored right now. And I was wondering how strong Senpai right now since I last saw him in his base slave form? I'll see it once in this Mato exhibition game, but I'll still stay on alert cause maybe they will be attacking when both of the units were busy into this Mato exhibition game. Hey, this is going to be a fun exhibition game. With Himari and Yuki. Himari, still looking away. Why do I have to hold on? Then look at Yuki, stop looking. Yuki, eyes closed. If I do this would probably turns around, maybe it's faster to see for yourself. Himari? Confused and still blushing. Himari tried to take a look of herself while Senpai are not looking, but to her surprise, she can't move her own body. Meanwhile Senpai is still not looking into her but waiting for her to finish looking at herself. Himari. I can't still move my body. Yuki. I thought so. Look at Himari. It's due to the ability's price. If I don't take the reward it won't end. Himari. After Senpai have explained about the ability compensation of the 7th chief, Himari unclipped her skirt and dropped it on the ground. Then she began to walk towards Senpai, which making him clueless why until the next thing Senpai knew Himari have hold on the back of Senpai's head while Senpai is blushing so much that Himari makes him kiss her panty. Damn, I didn't know Senpai is a latent pervert. Yuki. WHA-. Himari, she's blushing so much. Did it become a reward now? Yuki, can't talk and already blushing so much. Himari. And this is so indecent. After the reward, Senpai is riding while Himari is now driving both of them back to their unit dorm. They are both silent until Senpai begin to ask her a question. Yuki, do you understand now? Himari looked at Yuki while still had a small tint of blush. Yuki, it's best for you to use another power. Himari looks away from Yuki while still driving. I can't. Yuki, why? Himari, learning has its affinities. Lots of abilities drop their quality so much they become unusable. Himari had begun to talk with Senpai and explain what her ability can do and can't do while she's driving them back. Himari, take Shushu's paradigm shift for example. If I were to use it, all that'd happen would be my bust growing around 3 centimeters. Yuki, but Kyuko-san's ability price dash. Himari, the chief is giving it her all for her ambition. This isn't enough to stop me, either. Yuki got surprised. What is your ambition? Himari, silent for the second. My family, the Azumas, have made their name through all of their achievements in Mato. My older sisters are excellent, which also put a lot of expectations on me. I'd work myself too hard before an important exam and I'd get myself hurt, or I'd get a fever due to tension and couldn't bring forth good results. Yuki finally gets it now. I get it. I was also like that. Himari, even my peach ability was called amazing at first. Yuki, but then you saw its weakness. Himari starts to pout. As a result, I kept falling behind and made fun of by the Azuma. Especially by Yachiho, my older sister. She'd mess with me day in, day out. Inside the Anti-Demon Corps' 6th Unit's dorm. After training ourselves, we all went back to our own rooms, but the real reason why I only have 4 hours sleep is because something have woke me up or scared me on my dream. Anyway, Yachiho was now bathing in the bathroom until she feels something. Yachiho, she's happy for some reason. I feel a little ticklish. Perhaps Himari is thinking about her great sister? She's a good-for-nothing of a little sister. Someone fit to be driven around by me for the rest of her life. Yachiho makes a pose while pointing her one finger in the shower, and the water is stopped washing her. The Mato exhibition game will be interesting to watch. Yachiho, I'll show it to her during the Mato exhibition games. I just can't wait for it. Smiles brightly. Back with Senpai and Himari. Both of them have arrived in their unit dormitory, and changes their clothes to casual, then went to the living room. Himari was sitting in the chair while Senpai is leaning on a small cabinet behind him. Yuki, you have it pretty hard. Himari, this is the first time since I jumped out of that house that I have a chance to prove myself to them. Then points her finger at Yuki. Yuki got surprised a bit, but he's still looking at her. Himari, serious now. And that's why you should happily work with me. Yuki, make a grumpy face. Being asked that doesn't make me feel like cooperating that much. Himari, and my ultimate ambition is to become a hero just like the chief. Yuki noticed it. Wait, isn't that? Himari, to make up for all I couldn't stand out for, I want to flourish as much as I can. Yuki remembers something, she is just like me. In that case, I want to become a hero here. Himari, but as we are, there's one thing missing for us to win at the exhibition games. Yuki, and that'd be? Himari, a finishing move that is certain to defeat our enemy. Yuki got shocked and remembered on something again. Now that I think about it, all I've done this time was just punch and kick without thinking. I also have to become much stronger myself. Looking at Himari, if I work with her, a new door might open. And that might even help Kyuko-san size. Alright, I'll help you out. Himari, good reply. Yuki, and so what's Yachiho Azuma's ability that we're up against? Himari, Eastern Time Golden Hour. She can control time. Yuki got surprised there. Wow. Holy smokes. Himari, I'll explain it one more time. The power that manifests through the peach's blessings are many. Some increase your strength, while others improve your memory, for example. Though there are many that strengthen foundations, the golden hour held by yours truly, can stop or return time by 5 seconds with a noble pose. It's a crazy power, isn't it? But this is just normal for an Azuma. While they are talking with each other, Himari, already wearing her Mato uniform, and Senpai have turned into his slave's second form, Whirlwind. Himari. Crazy as her power might be, she will get tired after using it a few times due to how strong it is. That gives us a chance of winning. Yuki, slave Whirlwind. But just using it a few times would be really bad for us. Himari. Also, she'll use a mysterious pose to activate her ability. She said it's a routine she takes to boost herself. Makes a pose with her hands. Yuki, slave Whirlwind, the heck was that? Oh, I see, so we should make use of our specialty, our speed, for the finishing move. Makes a eagle pose. Himari. Exactly. We'll go with the strike so fast it'll give her no time to use her time stop. Yuki, slave Whirlwind. In that case, right back at you, quickly stepping forward and immediately thrusting might be the fastest way. Himari. Let's go develop it until it becomes an unavoidable attack. Yuki, slave Whirlwind. Though I'm pretty sure a human would die from this. Himari. All damage will be completely healed once a match is over by the power of the referee overseeing it. We can fight without holding back. Senpai positioned himself to make his first finishing move by using his second slave form, Whirlwind, while Himari is not riding on his back but she's on the ground looking and teach Senpai on how to create a finishing move. Himari. Now try putting some power into your legs, orders Yuki. Yuki, slave Whirlwind. HMPH. Tried it but doesn't feel it. Nothing's happening. Himari. This is just what I do when I turn my arms into weapons, but try feeling like you're gathering all your power into one place. Yuki, slave Whirlwind, follows her words and tries it. Gather my power on my legs. Senpai begins to feel something on his legs and saw it bulked up. Yuki, slave Whirlwind. UOH! Himari. Looks like you already get it. 2 shukis, running towards them. Himari. Here come punching bags A and B. Use your finishing move on them. Yuki, slave Whirlwind. Got it. He begins to run faster than normal. My legs are even faster. With them like this can work. Senpai tries to deliver the finishing move on to the punching bags A and B, but to his surprise, nothing happened. 2 shukis didn't receive any of the damage at all. Yuki, slave Whirlwind. It didn't at all. 2 shukis tries to attack Yuki at close distance. Yuki, slave Whirlwind, managed to take down on both of the shukis and goes back to human. I think my legs are worn out from the power I put in them. Himari walked towards Yuki. Your strikes got weaker as you focus your power on your legs. Head pats on his head. Let's keep trying so we can make this attack the best it can be. Yuki. So this is my reward this time. Senpai stands up and kisses Himari's hand, transforming himself in second slave form, Whirlwind. Then they begins to practice on the finishing move along with his master Himari. Yuki, slave Whirlwind. Going for a kick after the dash slows me down no matter what. We should go with our initial idea and attack with my fists. Himari. Then you should immediately change your focus on your arms the moment you attack. Yuki, slave Whirlwind. Controlling it is tough. Then out of nowhere, the 7th chief appeared beside Himari. Kyuka. You're doing great, Himari. Himari. Chief. Got surprised. Kyuka. Looks like you're making the best out of my ability. Himari. She's now happy and smiling while looking at Kyuka. Yes. Thanks to you, we're in the middle of making a finishing move. Kyuka. You trying it out ahead of me shows your potential. Watching Yuki training in his second slave form with his master Himari. I also thought of training how to gather power into one place to heighten it, in preparation to fight the one-horned and Humiliated Shuki. Himari. Thank you so much. Kyuka then asked Himari. But why are you just observing from the back? Himari. That's so I could then point out anything I happen to notice. Got surprised on Kyuka's question. Kyuka, take a look at Himari. But you're not Yuki's teacher. Think about what really happens when you're using this ability. Himari. What really happens? Himari was clueless at first until she have realized something when she saw on how powerful it is when Kyuka was using her ability, and Kyuka turned around and started walking away while smiling at Himari. Kyuka, keep putting your back into it. I have some work to finish. Waves her hand while leaving. Himari, thank you very much. She's so much happy when she realized it. Yuki, slave whirlwind. I have to gather power into my legs much faster. Himari rides on Yuki's back. Yuki, slave whirlwind, he noticed Himari riding on his back. Huh! Himari, I'll be riding you once we get to the real deal, right? So let's do it like this. Though this ability makes use of a slave, that doesn't mean I can just point what to do. I'll ride on the slave. I'll pull on the slave's chains. And as their master, I'll give out my orders. Focus your power on your legs. To her surprise, Senpai listened to her order and started to gather his power on his legs much greater than before. Himari feels the great power as well. How strange, the surge of power is greater than before. Shuki, rise up from the ground and start to attack them. Himari, kill it, orders Yuki. Senpai begins to look at the Shuki then rush towards it more faster from before. Yuki, slave whirlwind, destroyed a single Shuki with the newly created finishing move. Shuki got a hole on its body thanks to Yuki's newly finishing move. Himari, now she's happy on seeing the result. This is really what you'd call a finishing move. Chapter 7 Mato Exhibition Game begins. The Shuki got a hole on its body thanks to Yuki's newly finishing move. Himari, finally happy on seeing the result. This is really what you'd call a finishing move. Yuki, slave whirlwind, was surprised by the finishing move he made with Himari. The impact was strong enough to destroy a chest and let the Shuki disappear itself after it got one shot by him. Yuki, slave whirlwind. Did I just do it? I got too into it. Will we able to do it again? Himari, don't worry. Then many grounds voices was heard and all of the Shukis have starting to rise up to attack them both. Himari, the Mato is filled with practice targets. Time skip for a bit. Due to using in quick succession a finishing move that exerts the body, Yuki's fatigue was reaching its limit. Yuki, laying on ground ha ha huff huff, this is far more tiring than usual. Himari, taking off her coat. This technique will damage you from time to time, but if we train until it becomes stable, it will not be a problem. Start blushing on what she's doing. Yuki then starts on blushing. Hey, that's dash. Yuki was still speechless on the reward he will receive from her even though Yuki was already accustomed with it. Himari have already done on taking off her coat and jacket leaving only her bra, then she begins to take off its clip from behind then raise it with both of her hands. Himari blushing. This is the ability's price. Good grief. How indecent. Suddenly, Yuki's fatigue have started to disappear as he was still blushing until his fatigue had reached to 0%. Yuki, bring it on. Yuki turns around while raising his right arm and still blushing. Yuki, we'll be right back to training once the chores are done. I'll make sure to master this technique, and in time, put it to good use. Let's go, starts on walking away. Himari, covering her naked top with both of her hands. That's the spirit. Some days later. The 6th unit have finally arrived in 7th unit dorm using a portal along with Izuku from behind the 3 girls. Tenka. Our goal will be the 6th unit's complete victory. Yachiho. And let's make it elegant. An elegant, complete victory. Behind the two, Sahara just smiled while Izuku was looking forward to it but still on guard, which they didn't notice. Izuku Mato Exhibition Games began. Smirks. Let's see what's your next move, 8 Gods of Thunder. When they all arrived in there too early, Izuku went to search for the outside while Sahara went to the hot spring to relax. Sahara saw the 7th unit members in there, and she joined them on the hot spring before they begin the Mato game. With Shushu and Himari. Himari and Shushu was seen in the hot spring relaxing while they're waiting for the match to begin. Shushu. Looks like the matches are just around the corner. Himari. I'm ready to go. I'll be using a power they don't know how to counter, unlike the weapon transformation. I can do this. Shushu. But the Himrin and Yuki combo will end with the match, won't it? Himari. I supposed. He is the chief's slave in the end, plus I've got other powers to use. Shushu chuckles on what Himari just said before she went up and sit on a rock while still in the hot spring. Himari. But for today, I have to focus. Every soldiers in Mato will know the result of the match. The outcome is linked with the unit with the chief's evaluation. Shushu, start listening then raise her thumbs up. You've got to show your cool side then. Smiles. Himari then clenched her fist. Yeah. The chief put together this contest for me. So for her sake, I can't lose. Shushu and Himari was excited until Shushu realized something then began to ask a question. Shushu. Oh yeah, I wonder what other 6th unit member will come. Himari then noticed the feet of someone else until she recognized who it was. Both of them was surprised to see Sahara is already naked and she also saw the two of them. Sahara waves at them. Hello, we got here early, but they said preparations will take time, so I came to relax. Shushu. But did the 6th unit have someone like her? Himari. She's Sahara Wakasa. She's not the type to come out often, so this is rare. Then after Sahara went into the hot spring, she immediately gets fall asleep. Shushu. And now she goes to sleep. How funny! Looking at sleeping Sahara with a smile. Himari. She's got guts. Looking at sleeping Sahara. 30 minutes later. After preparations, 3 of them went outside to meet with Kyuka and the others. The 6th unit and 7th unit went to face with each other, then Tenka and Kyuka begun to speak. Kyuka. With some of both of our unit's members still away, our game choices for these matches limited. Tenka. But just as we planned, we'll be going with one-on-ones this time. Izuku was outside the 7th unit dorm and barrier, meanwhile Yuki was inside the barrier, which they didn't notice him. Then a girl begun to speak up and introduces herself as their referee, while she already activates her peach ability called the members only arena, Gine Club. Gine. I will be your referee. 10th unit Gine Bison, at your service, bows her head. Through Gine Bison's ability, a barrier is deployed by using the lines she draws on the ground as its boundary. Those who gave their signature can enter the barrier, and for signees, any damage taken inside the barrier in battles between them is completely healed. Thanks to her ability, no matter if it's for real matches or training, she is always in demand. Gine then begin on fangirling for both the unit leaders. Gine. This is such a dreamlike power to me. I can watch the anti-demon core up close. There's some who say the peach's blessing depends on the person's character and knowledge, and I really agree. Tenka. Even if 1,000 shuki came, this barrier would still hold up. Looking at Gine. Kyuka. We're also counting on you as our referee. Looking at Gine. Gine was super happy with stars on her eyes to hear that both unit leaders was counting on her as their referee while protecting them during the Mato exhibition match against the Shukis, but she didn't know that Izuku was outside the barrier looking out if there will be trouble. Gine. Yes. Tensama, Keiwayu-sama. I will give my all. Yuki had noticed her strange reactions towards the unit leaders like Tenka and Kyuka. Yuki. Keiwayu-sama. Is she an anti-demon core fan? Yuki's sweats drop on his face until both of them looked at each other, then she changes her expression from fangirling to a cold stare, which makes Yuki surprised in a sudden change. Yuki, WHOA. Her stare towards men are cold. NEI. Alright, everything is ready. Yuki looked at where he heard the sound of Kid, then saw that NEI was wearing a bandana while holding a banner on her hands that was written as Team 7, which was created by Shushu Suruga, and Yuki begins to ask NEI a question. Yuki. Did you make those? NEI. I'm not a combatant, so I'll cheer with all I've got. NEI happily told Yuki the answer to his question until Gine speaks through a microphone on her hand, which was heard by the two units and Izuku, even though he's outside the barrier thanks to his enhanced hearing from SCP-682. Gine. Alright. Let's begin with no further delay. On to the first match. Yachiho from the 6th unit steps forward, which Himari noticed it, and she signaled Himari to come until Himari raised her left hand to Yuki, who is standing behind her left hand. Himari. I'll go. Yuki transforms into his second slave form right in front of their referee and the 6th unit members with a smoke around him after kissing Himari's left hand. Himari. He'll also participate as part of my ability. Yachiho. I don't mind. Telling a dog user they can't use their dog would be cruel. Bringing a man along won't make any difference. Guinea. The rules are, you lose if you give up or can't continue. Your wounds will heal. So fight without holding back. Yachiho. I'll have you return to the Azuma house once I win. You'll live in my room and I'll be giving you a strict reformation. Himari. I'll be the winner, Yachiho. Guinea. Begin. Himari and Yuki, Slave Whirlwind, rushed towards Yachiho right after Guinea announced to begin the match while Yachiho arrogantly spoke to her little sister. Yachiho. A warning, Himari. You will die in stand dash. Before Yachiho finished her words, Yuki, Slave Whirlwind, was already in front of her and he's ready to use the finishing move on her. Yuki, Slave Whirlwind. Branding. Yachiho. TLY. The 7th unit and 6th unit was surprised on the first attack coming from Himari and Yuki, Slave Whirlwind, that knocks Yachiho back by force. Yachiho didn't even notice the move that Himari and Yuki, Slave Whirlwind, used on her and start to get angry about it. Yachiho, what the hell have you done out of nowhere? Golden hour. Both of them went back to their current position before the attack begins, which Himari noticed something. Yachiho was tired and have a sweat drop on her face while feeling the back of her neck before breathing out some air. Himari, she's tired. So she turned back time. Himari then pulled the chain around the scarf in Yuki's, Slave Whirlwind, neck and ready to attack Yachiho once again with the same move. Himari, she managed to use her power even after the branding then. I had already expected that. Guinea. Begin! Yachiho, she's moving differently. I have to know if it's a coincidence, or if it was a planned. Himari and Yuki, Slave Whirlwind, have begun to make their first move once again. Himari, we'll go just as we plan. Yachiho, my carelessness is gone. Also, Himari, you probably don't know that my power has grown. Yachiho begins to smirk while Himari and Yuki, Slave Whirlwind, was already in the air and they are ready to strike her down again with their finishing move. Yachiho, I'll show you how it's the fate of little sisters to lose to their big sisters through the use of my prime time. Back in the 7th unit dorm before the match have begun. Himari, Sahara and Shushu was now already wearing their undergarments after taking a bath in the hot spring and Himari begins to ask Sahara a question. Himari, can I ask you something? Sahara, Himari, did Yachiho do any special training for today? Sahara, anything is fine. Snore. Himari called for her again by shouting at her. Himari, HEY, shouts. Sahara, Yaki didn't do anything unusual. Maybe she's confident? Himari, embarrassed. Shushu, she's looking down on you, Himarin, tried to calm Himari down. Sahara, I shouldn't tell them about that training with Izuku then. Back to the match. Himari was seen in the air while she's riding in Yuki's, Slave Whirlwind, back and Yachiho prepared her gun before she aimed it at her little sister. Himari, a gun remodeled for Mato uses. That's her main weapon, as I expected. Himari pulled the chain hard and Yuki, Slave Whirlwind, already knows what she's thinking about then begins to boost his feet. Yachiho grins knowing that she can hit her little sister now while in the air and begins to shoot her gun. Yachiho, jumping into the air where you can't move was stupid. I'll stop time when they land and shoot them down. Himari, now! And through Himari's order Yuki, Slave Whirlwind, suddenly disappear right after Yachiho shoot her gun in front of her only for her to get hit again by the surprised attack from both of them. Yachiho. Yuki, Slave Whirlwind. Branding. Yuki, Slave Whirlwind, managed to make Yachiho to cough a bit of blood from her mouth after she received a powerful blow through her body. Then Yachiho looked back to Himari immediately, and she saw Yachiho was smirking. Then she used her power once again, making Himari surprised for the sudden move. Yachiho. Golden hour, 5 seconds time rewind. Yuki, slave whirlwind, got rewinded back to where he is in 5 seconds, giving Yachiho sweat even more after using her power. Yachiho, I didn't expect him to kick the air to speed up. They got me by a hair. But Yachiho prepared both of her hands to use her power again with the same pose she did earlier with Imari. Yachiho, if I activate my ability earlier, when time gets stopped, the slave should be right in front of me, smirks. Golden hour! 5 seconds time stop. Yachiho immediately aimed her gun in front of her only to see that they're not there anymore. Yachiho, they are not here! Got surprised. Yachiho looks around only to notice that they are further away from her position until the time have reached to 5 seconds. The time have begun moving again and they managed to land on the ground while Yachiho was running towards them. Yachiho was already tired of using her power over and over, which makes her fall right into Himari's plan. Himari, alright, we made her waste an ability use. We'll keep going as we plan. Himari orders Yuki, slave whirlwind, which he follows in no hesitation. Yuki, slave whirlwind. Yeah! I can feel it really well. Himari's feelings of not wanting to lose, that is. Yuki remembered what Himari talked earlier before they train in order to have a finishing move. Yuki, slave whirlwind, she's someone who has the same goal of becoming a hero. I want to make her win. I'll do it. Yuki, slave whirlwind, have begun to increase his speed while circling around Yachiho, which makes her mad, while the 7th unit NEI and Shushu was cheering for her. Kyuka didn't talk but focused only on the match, and Gine begins to blush on how amazing Yuki was as a slave. NEI. It's like he multiplied. Shushu. Good. Blow her away. Gine. He's pretty amazing. Blushed as she watches him amazingly. Himari. This guy no Yuki. He's moving far better than I imagined. Smiles. I have to apologize for always treating him like a buffoon. And for that I must win against Yachiho. Golden hour can't be used without delays. Once the strange pose, the origin of the ability, begins, you can either attack or escape, depending on the distance. Moreover, you can tell whether Yachiho used her ability by looking at her face. If she shows fatigue, it's because she turned back time. And so we moved differently from how we'd planned. Himari, she's only got a few uses of her ability left. Victory is ours as long as we keep making her waste her ability. Yachiho grins even more. I bet is what Himari's thinking right now. I've already seen through your thoughts and plans. I'll definitely bring you back home with a displeased look on your face. I'll use my trump card after all. Behold your sister's greatness. Yachiho prepared her final pose to use her trump card, which Himari noticed it, and planned on dodging it like they did earlier. Himari, she's going to stop time. We can avoid it at this distance, pulled the chains. Yachiho goes for a supreme pose. Prime time! Yachiho stopped time around her and saw everyone are frozen, including her little sister Himari and her slave Yuki, slave whirlwind. Yachiho, they'd be out of range if I only had 5 seconds, but you can't escape if you're 10 seconds stopped. This ability's bottleneck is how it takes longer than golden hour to activate, but I knew that if I used it at that distance, you'd go for evasion. Yachiho used this chance, and she runs towards them, then shoots them with her gun until it reaches 10 seconds. Time resumes again, but both Himari and Yuki, slave whirlwind, takes damage on it after receiving the shoots from Yachiho's gun. Himari and Yuki, slave whirlwind. GUUH! Both of them takes the hit. 7th unit got surprised on the outcome of it, while 6th unit were having a normal reaction since Izuku is the only one who always takes down Yachiho during their sparring before Sahara. Yachiho, walking towards Himari and Yuki, slave whirlwind. Prime time! By striking a supreme pose, the amount of time I can manipulate doubles. Himari. I didn't think you'd have such thing. Yachiho. My growth is also that of a genius. Your defeat will be for not taking that into account. From a distance, black portal appears and a familiar 3 gods appear, which Izuku noticed them immediately. Izuku smirks, they're here. SCP-682, what will you do to them now, Izuku? Izuku, I'll help the 6th and 7th units if they are in danger. 682. SCP-682, if you say so, Izuku, but for a meantime what will you do? Izuku, I'll just watch them all from here for now. Shikoku. HEH. Things are looking heated. Let's observe for now. Shikoku was holding her black snakes on her neck while she's watching the Azuma siblings match along with the Juryu and Reiren. Shikoku. Our enemies might increase. The more, the merrier. Reiren. I'll handle it this time. You already had your rampage with that 3rd unit or something. Juryu. We need to be careful here as well. Reiren. And tell me, why do we need to be careful around these obsoletes? Shikoku. I have a bad feeling that he's here to protect the 7th and 6th units. Reiren. You mean that obsolete that can summon Shuki just like us? Juryu. Yeah, I don't think we can just fight him head on like we did last time. Reiren. That obsolete just overpower us by luck. Shikoku. I don't think that he fought us all and overpower us by luck in there. Chapter 8. A monster that will protect the humanity. Shikoku. Our enemies might increase. The more, the merrier. Reiren. I'll handle it this time. You already had your rampage with that 3rd unit or something. Juryu. We need to be careful here as well. Reiren. And tell me, why do we need to be careful around these obsoletes? Shikoku. I have a bad feeling that he's here to protect the 7th and 6th units. Reiren. You mean that obsolete that can summon Shuki just like us? Juryu. Yeah, I don't think we can just fight him head on like we did last time. Reiren. That obsolete just overpower us by luck. Shikoku. I don't think that he fought us all and overpower us by luck in there. Reiren. I don't really care if he's here or not, cause I can take him down. Suddenly, Izuku appeared in front of the 3 gods and delivers a heavy blow on the stomach, sending Reiren backwards. Izuku. You're too arrogant to think that you can take me down alone. Shikoku and Juryu was surprised on a suddenly appearance of Izuku, then both tried to attack him at the same time. Izuku changed himself into his humanoid monster, and 4 spiked tails appeared on his back. Then the 4 spiked tails stabbed the 2 gods in their stomach, causing them to spit some of their blood. Izuku delivers a kick to Juryu, sending her flying backwards as well, like he did on Reiren, while he kicks Shikoku on the side of her head, slamming her down on the ground. Shikoku was knocked out unconscious after she took the direct hit from Izuku's kick, while the 2 gods are in further away from them, and they have also received a fatal injury coming from Izuku's surprise attack. Izuku, half monster. Well, trying to prove that you 3 are the gods means nothing to me. Izuku then starts roaring so loud that the barrier protecting the 7th and 6th unit was destroyed, and some shukis starts to rise up from the ground. Kyuka and others was surprised on what they heard, except for Yuki, who already knows where the loud roar came from. Yuki, you're already much stronger than me now. Kyuka and Tenka, this is our first time to hear a screech that destroys a barrier. Gina noticed all the shukis are starting to rise up on the ground, but surprised to see that shukis are not attacking them like they usually do, which makes Kyuka and Tenka got surprised by this as well, and Gina used this distraction to build up her barrier once again. Kyuka and Tenka, why didn't the shukis attack us while the barrier is gone? Yachiho. Now that's weird. Shushu. Why didn't the shukis attack us? Gina. Do you think it'd have something to do with the loud roar earlier? Himari. Yeah, and judging from that loud roar earlier. Kyuka. Well, you might be right about that one, Himari. Tenka. But why would a shuki respond to it? Gina. I should tell this new information we found to Rinsama after this. Kyuka. Yeah, you go tell her about that. Tenka. Let's try to find the answer, shall we? Kyuka nods. Cancel the match. We'll conduct an investigation right away. 7th and 6th unit prepared themselves right after Kyuka announced to cancel today's match, and they all begin to move out. Meanwhile, Izuku was seen standing while the 2 gods are down, and Shikoku is knocked out unconscious until Reiren and Juryu decides to attack Izuku together. Juryu, you're going down this time. Reiren, know your place, obsolete. Juryu and Reiren attack Izuku using their strongest move, but it still wasn't enough to damage or kill him. Izuku, half monster. And here you call yourselves a god? That wasn't even hurting me a bit. Izuku rushed in towards the two gods and ready to land a kick at Juryu, but she managed to block the kick with both of her hands. Juryu slammed her feet on the ground and managed to send Izuku flying back. Reiren raised his hand and a dark cloud starts to surround the sky with lightnings until he brings down his hand, then the lightning strikes at Izuku. Izuku took the lightning strike head-on and screams in pain for a minute. Reiren begins to laugh, then the two gods have summoned a lot of shukis to attack Izuku. Reiren. Ha ha! Feel the pain! Juryu. Hey, be ready for what C-. Before she could finish her sentence, Izuku appears in front of Reiren and he delivers a roundhouse kick, sending him flying backwards again. Ignore the swords, but only the kick. Then Izuku suddenly disappeared right in front of Juryu, making her shocked and surprised. Juryu. What the? I didn't even saw him move there right after taking Reiren's lightning strike head-on. Reiren was sent flying backwards with both of his feet on the ground while Izuku had appeared in front of him again. Then he delivered a side kick in his neck before slamming him on the ground that caused a very strong shockwave that may have alerted everyone on the dimension. The unit chiefs and commander have felt the very strong shockwave, along with some of the humanoid shukis who have lived on the underground have also felt it as well. This proves that the leader of the 5th and 8th investigation was real, and there's a monster more dangerous than the 8 gods of thunder. Izuku have shown no mercy on the 3 gods and managed to almost kill one of them, but he got escape from him through a black portal made by one of the 8 gods of thunder. The area was totally destroyed and all of the shukis that surrounded him earlier have been destroyed by the shockwave of his attack, while Izuku was still standing with much blood on his right fist coming from the 3 gods. Reiren and Juryu was now traumatized on the fight between Izuku and the two of them, while Shikoku is put to somewhere in order to rest. Then they decided to lay low until they are in better condition to make a move. Izuku, on the other hand, was still boiling in rage to the point that he will destroy everyone who gets in his way until 682 decides to speak up. SCP-682, hey kid, you need to calm down or you're going to attach some unwanted people. Izuku heavily sighs. SCP-682, are you okay now, kid? Izuku, I am okay for now, thanks. 682. SCP-682, so how does it feel losing a temper and let the rage consume you? Izuku, I feel a lot stronger when I letting myself consumed in rage. SCP-682, that's half of my abilities yet, and I'm impressed that you've managed to master my best ability. Izuku, you have a best ability? SCP-682, Izuku, I was known as the hard-to-kill reptile because of my superior adaptation. Izuku, superior adaptation? What's that? 682. SCP-682, kid, that's one of my main ability. I have an ability to adapt on any kind of situations. Izuku, give me an example. 682. SCP-682, well, almost everyone in the SCP Foundation have tried every method they can think, like erasing me out of existence and throwing me into the sun, but somehow I've managed to survive those methods. Izuku, now, I know why they call you the hard-to-kill reptile. SCP-682, what's worst is that I'm in my base form while adapting to the methods they all tried. Izuku, wait, so how dangerous are you if you're in true form? SCP-682, much dangerous that I can match up some of the Keter class in the SCP Foundation. Izuku, can you tell me how did I manage to summon the shukis? SCP-682, it's simple, you are able to summon them through my superior adaptation. Before Izuku can talk, he felt that some people are coming towards his way and he decided to stay on the place in order to get caught by the Anti-Demon Corps. With the Anti-Demon Corps, the 7th units was investigating on the shukis who are standing outside their dorm unit, while the 6th units went on the place where Izuku have to fight the 3 gods. After they're all done investigating on the battlefield and shukis who is guarding the 7th unit dorm, then they reported back to Tenka and Kyuka. Kyuka, so any ideas on why the shukis are guarding our dorm? Shushu, we still didn't know why are they guarding our unit dorm. Himari, do you think someone is behind this? Kyuka, Hey NEI, can you use your peach ability so that we can discover who's the one doing this? NEI. Got it, Chief. NEI closed her eyes and started to activate her peach ability while Kyoka looked at Yuki. Kyoka. Yuki, be ready for what we're about to do. Yuki. Kyoka-san, what do you mean by that? NEI. Chief, I've found the one who caused it. Kyoka. Can you tell us his location and we're going to head out? NEI told Kyoka the exact location of Izuku and she have told her members to move out while Yuki was thinking of a plan to negotiate with Izuku in a peaceful way. With Izuku was able to sense a familiar aura that are coming towards him, then he managed to recognize it immediately along with Yuki. Izuku and Yuki, half monster and slave, I recognize this aura, so it's Yuki-senpai Izuku. Kyoka and her unit have arrived at the location, then saw a lot of dead shuki corpses along with some of them were starting to disappear while Izuku was seen standing at middle of the battlefield on his half-monster form. Kyoka then jumps down from Yuki's slave back while Himari and Shushu gets out of the vehicle that they are using. Kyoka, Himari and Shushu are surprised by this, then prepared themselves to fight Izuku while Yuki is speechless on what he was looking in front of him right now. Yuki did know that Izuku can transform into a monster but didn't know if he was still the same Izuku before they received a look coming from him and decided to talk with them. Izuku, half monster. What are you all going to do now? Fight me here together? Kyoka. If that's the only way to take you out, then so be it. Izuku, half monster. Do you really think you all have a chance against me? Hey, don't make me laugh. Himari. Don't you dare underestimate us, Shuki. Izuku, half monster. Shuki? Do you really think that I'm one of the pathetic devils that I've killed? Shushu. Wait, so you are not one of the Shukis? Izuku, half monster. What do you think? Himari and Shushu, speechless. Himari aimed both of her arms right at Izuku that have turned into machine gun by using her peach ability, while Shushu used her peach ability to grow taller and look down at Izuku. Next thing happened, Yuki, slave, said something that surprised the 7th unit and Kyoka. Yuki, slave. Please don't make me do this, Izuku. Kyoka, Himari and Shushu was surprised on what they heard from Yuki's mouth while NEI was watching them using her peach ability, but also surprised by it. Kyoka. So he's the other person that we need to rescue that time, where have he been though? Izuku, half monster. You're way too soft, senpai. Yuki, slave. I don't want to hurt you if we can do this in a peaceful way. Izuku, half monster. And where's the fun in that, senpai? Yuki, slave. I don't want to fight you now and you've already know that, right? Izuku, half monster. Yeah, I know that, senpai. I want to have some fun since the so-called gods did not even give me one. Himari, Kyoka and Shushu, so-called gods? What does he mean by that? Yuki, slave. Who are these gods that you fought, Izuku? Izuku, half monster. I think you'll meet them in the future, so I won't tell you their names yet. Shushu. So he holds a very important info about the enemies, then this can help us know who our main enemies are, but how can we convince him? Kyoka unsheathed her sword and walks towards Izuku, who is still on his guard, until she starts to talk. Kyoka. How about we make a deal with you? If that's okay. Izuku, half monster. And what kind of deal do you want to make then? Kyoka stops on walking when she's in front of Izuku, who is in his half monster form. Kyoka. We'll give you the fight that you want, and in exchange, you'll give us the information about our enemies. Is that a deal? Izuku, half monster. If you can give me the fight I want, then it's a deal. Kyoka puts her right hand in front of him, which Izuku shakes it with his left hand, accepting the deal that Kyoka have made. Yuki, slave, we're lucky that we didn't have to fight him, sighs. Himari's arms changed back to normal after she turned off her peach ability, and Shushu did the same thing as Himari, but Yuki have changed back to human, and Kyoka feels that the compensation was needed. Izuku was looking at the 7th unit before he turned back to his human form. Kyoka. Well, what kind of fight do you want? Izuku. Huh? What do you mean? Kyoka, Himari, Shushu and Yuki are now shocked that Izuku don't remember what he said to Kyoka earlier. Shushu. Wait, what's going on? Why doesn't he remember his words? Himari. Why didn't he remember the words he said earlier? Izuku, 682, do you know what are they talking about? SCP-682, Izuku, it's about the deal I've made with the unit chief. Izuku, what kind of deal is it? 682. SCP-682, they will give me a fight and you'll give them information about the so-called gods. Izuku, so you're the one who's in control if I transformed into half-monster? SCP-682, yeah kid, I'm the one in control of your body when you've transformed into half-monster if you are fighting but you're still in control on your mind. Izuku, how about my full monster form? Who's in control? 'Cause that one is hard to control. SCP-682, well, your monster form was really hard to control because it was driven by its own instincts. Izuku, driven by its own instinct? SCP-682, yeah, you already know what I am and that include my own instincts. Izuku, 'cause you only have one goal in mind. SCP-682, and my goal is to destroy all the living life across the entire universe. Izuku, that's why my monster form is hard to control. SCP-682, if you want to control it then you have to adapt on my own instincts and make it yours. Izuku, but that will be hard. 682. SCP-682, kid, do you want to fully control my monster form? Izuku, if I want to make sure that all the humanity will survive and live for another day then I'll do it. SCP-682, well, good luck kid, you are going to need it. Izuku, thank you for the encouragement. 682. SCP-682, hell, let's see if you can overcome my own instincts kid and make it yours. After talking with 682, Izuku remembers the deal that 682 have made for Kyoka and her unit in order to satisfy his thrust for the battle. Kyoka, do you remember the deal now? And also you didn't tell us your name. Izuku, I remember it now and my name is Izuku Midoriya, nice to meet you. Kyoka, well, my name is Kyoka Yuzin, the 7th unit chief, and these two are my members. Kyoka then looked behind and let the two members introduce themselves to Izuku. Himari. I'm Himari Azuma, vice chief of the 7th unit. Shushu. I'm Shushu Suruga, pleasure to meet you. Wave at Izuku. Izuku. Nice to meet you too as well. Kyoka. And I guess you already know our slave. Izuku. I've already know senpai since we went on the same school. Shushu. Wait, so you're a second-year high school? Izuku. Yup, I'm only a second-year student. Izuku was happily talking with the 7th unit members while Yuki is looking at his kohai, which Kyoka noticed Yuki that he was silent then decided to talk at him. Kyoka. Hey, what's wrong Yuki? Is something wrong? Yuki. No, I don't have a problem. It's just that. Kyoka. Let me guess, it's about Midoriya. Yuki. Yeah, I'm worried about him. Kyoka. But why are you worried about him? Kyoka was concerned that Yuki was worried about Izuku until he told her some secret of his kohai. Yuki. He has something that is far more dangerous and deadlier than Peach abilities. No offense Kyoka-san. Kyoka. None taken. So Yuki, what's his ability name then? Yuki. He didn't told me his ability name, but I saw his right hand have changed into monster's hand when he blocked the attack from the shuki. Kyoka. So that was when you two were transported here by the mists, right? Yuki. That's the time when he told me to run for safety and wait for you to arrive while he will handle the shukis. Kyoka. So that's why there are only 5 shukis left chasing you. Yuki. Yeah, only 5 shukis was the only remaining that chase after me until you arrived, Kyoka-san. Kyoka. But somehow, we still saw a lot of shukis heading towards us that time. Yuki. Yeah, and I was thankful that you saved my life back then while Izuku have to buy me some time to escape. Kyoka. You should also thanking your kohai because of him. I've managed to find you and rescue you while he's buying you some time to escape. Yuki. And I was grateful for that. Kyoka. Let's go back with the others now since we have a promise to keep. Yuki. Right behind you, Kyoka-san. Kyoka and Yuki starts walking back to the others while they are preparing to leave the location since it was not safe anymore. They went in the car and starts to drive back to their dormitory along with Izuku, Yuki, and Himari sitting on the back seat. Chapter 9. Nei meet the monster and Izuku meet the humanoid shukis. Kyuka and Yuki starts walking back to the others while they are preparing to leave the location since it was not safe anymore. They went in the car and starts to drive back to their dormitory along with Izuku, Yuki, and Himari sitting on the back seat. While they are on the way back, Izuku is looking at the surroundings silently, and she decided to ask him something. Himari. Hey, Midoriya? Izuku looked at Himari after hearing her voice. Izuku. HM? What is it, Himari? Himari. Can I ask you one question? Izuku. You can ask away, Himari. Himari. Where are you that time? Izuku. I was buying Senpai some time in order for him to escape from all of the shukis. Himari. So Yuki was telling us the truth then. Himari whispered some words to herself, but to her surprise, Izuku have managed to hear her words. Izuku. Oh? Senpai told you about it? Himari. Yes, Yuki tell us about it when the chief have asked him where you are. Izuku is surprised on hearing that Yuki had to tell them about him, and he looked at Yuki, who is busy from looking on the surroundings. Izuku, I didn't know Yuki-senpai will be so worried about me. Himari. When we asked him a question about you, Yuki was silent and tried to change the topic. Izuku. Himari. Is Yuki really like that? Izuku. Yeah, I can't deny that one since he's my senpai after all. After answering Himari's question, Izuku is looking back on the surroundings once again, while Himari finally understands on why Yuki always changes the topic if they ask something about Izuku. Himari wasn't the only one who noticed Yuki's sudden change when mentioning his kohai on their topic and Yuki trying to change it. When they arrived at the 7th unit dorm, Nei was seen standing outside the dorm while waiting for Himari and the others to return back. Himari and the others gets off from the truck and Kyuka parks the truck on their garage before getting down. Himari, Shushu, and Yuki saw Nei outside the dormitory waiting for them, but when Izuku looked at Nei, then something have happened that make him snap from the inside. Izuku is having the urge to protect Nei from any danger, just like SCP-682 did on a little girl whose code name is SCP-053 back at the Foundation facility. SCP-682 noticed the same urge Izuku is having right now and decide to speak with him about it. SCP-682, you really are interesting host, kid. Izuku, do you know something like this, 682? SCP-682, I haven't told you about it, didn't I? Izuku, huh? What do you mean by that 682? SCP-682, the feeling you're having in right now was also the same feeling I have when it comes with the little girl like her. Izuku, wait, is this the same feeling you have when you're with SCP-053? SCP-682, you're correct on that, kid, and right now that same feeling was showing up when you saw the little girl waiting for the unit members to arrive. Izuku and 682 was silent for a minute until they've made a promise onto themselves, and Izuku's eyes start to change, showing his monstrous eyes. Izuku, I don't know what say but dash. SCP-682, whatever danger happened to this little girl? Izuku, when it comes on saving the life of a little girl like her. Izuku and SCP-682, will not going to hesitate on killing them all. Izuku started releasing his deadly aura, which makes Yuki, Himari, and Shushu alerted to him, but not Nei until they have noticed the sudden change of Izuku's eyes. Himari and Shushu are now preparing themselves to use their peach ability on Izuku while Yuki was protecting Nei by standing in front of her. When Kyuka arrives, she also felt the deadly aura in the air and saw Izuku's eye was changed into a monstrous eyes. Then she tried to stop her unit members and Izuku to fight each other. At that very moment, Nei start to walk towards Izuku, who is releasing a deadly aura through the air outside the 7th unit dorm. Izuku suddenly stopped on releasing his aura the moment he saw Nei grab his arm and tries to calm him down. 682 remembers the same touch that 053 did when he was still in the Foundation trying to kill all of the SCP soldiers until 053 comes in and tried to calm him down, which is working. Izuku was looking at Nei silently while stopping his aura, then Kyuka decided to run towards them, which got alerted the 4 members of the 7th unit except for Izuku, Himari, and Shushu. Chief! Surprised. Kyuka. Okay, what's going on here? Yuki. Don't worry, Kyuka-san, it's just a misunderstanding. Kyuka. A misunderstanding? What do you mean by that? Kyuka put her right hand on the handle and preparing to unsheath her katana just in case the problem wasn't over just yet. Nei. Yuki-san is right, Chief, it's just a misunderstanding. Kyuka. Are you sure, Nei? Nei was about to answer until Izuku pats her head and decides to answer Kyuka's question instead of Nei. Izuku. Don't worry, Kyuka-san, Senpai is telling the truth. Kyuka. If you say so, Midoriya. Kyuka puts away her hand from her waist and starts to calm down before Yuki begins to speak up. Yuki. Izuku, why did you release your aura just now? Izuku. I don't know how to control my aura, Senpai. Himari and Shushu. Huh? He can't control his aura if he released it? Kyuka. You don't know how to control your aura? Izuku. Yeah, but I'm getting hang of it. Kyuka. So you're practicing on how to control it, right? Izuku. That's right. I'm still practicing on how to control my aura. Izuku was making a lie about that since he doesn't want the government, or the other units to target him. Nei. Have you calmed down now, mister? Izuku. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. Izuku smiles at Nei while he's giving her a head pat and still trying to adapt on his own aura. Izuku didn't know that the 6th unit was still staying in 7th unit dorm since their exhibition game was cancelled by Kyuka herself to investigate the shockwave they all felt earlier. Once Izuku and the 7th unit enters their dormitory, they saw Yachiho and Sahara waiting for them without Tenka. Kyuka. Yachiho, where did Tenka go? Yachiho. Chief went to the commander to report something. Kyuka. Is it related from earlier? Sahara. Yeah, it's about the shockwave from earlier. Nods. Izuku was surprised to hear that the shockwave of his attack against Reirin are strong enough to let everyone feel the entire dimension shaking. Yachiho and Yuki have noticed that Izuku silently went outside to find a place to sit while leaning his back into the wall with eyes closed. Izuku, I didn't know that my attack was powerful enough to cause a shockwave that strong. SCP-682, what do you expect? I'm more powerful than these females, kid. Izuku, I know that's 682, but still I got to say we're already considered a threat in this world by the 8 gods of thunder. SCP-682, they call themselves a god but they can't even put a scratch on your body. Izuku, adding to the fact, I was adapting here even faster are scary. SCP-682, you're already adapted to the environment around here but still adapting to the powers of the 8 god of thunder, and we have the ability to summon shukis like them. Izuku, wait a minute, you're telling me that now I have the ability to summon the shukis just like them? SCP-682, you achieve that ability by adapting on your fight against the 3 gods of thunder and all of the shukis by yourself. Izuku, is there any more abilities that I've gained by adapting from them? SCP-682, want me to tell you about it, kid? Izuku, sure thing. Tell me all the abilities that I've gained. 682. SCP-682, remember the lightning strike from that cocky god? Izuku, wait, the cocky god? Oh, you mean the one they call Reirin? SCP-682, yeah, that one. You've gained the ability to use lightning just like him. Izuku, wait, the lightning that almost killed me? I've gained that ability as well? SCP-682, yeah, because they didn't know your ability to adapt in all the attacks that was meant to kill us. Izuku, so in other words. SCP-682, I have already told you about that earlier, kid. We're the immortal monster in this world. Izuku, that will protect humanity from the shukis and 8 gods of thunder. SCP-682, that's right, kid, this kid is different from any humans that I have killed back at the SCP Foundation while I was trying to escape. Izuku opened his eyes and saw Yachiho staring at him along with Yuki, who is worried about something on his mind. Izuku. Yachiho-san and Senpai? What's the matter? Yuki. I want to talk with you about that deadly power of yours. Izuku. How about you, Yachiho-san? Izuku looked at Yachiho after hearing Yuki's reason on wanting to talk with him. Yachiho. I noticed that you were acting different earlier when we felt the aura that you released. Izuku. Oh, it's similar to senpai then. Mumbles. Yuki and Yachiho didn't hear his mumbled words before Izuku looked up at the two of them with his monstrous eyes. Izuku. I hope you two won't tell this info to everyone else. Yachiho. Is there any reason why? Izuku. I don't want to become a target by the anti-demon corps since I was already considered a threat to the enemy. Yuki and Yachiho, the enemy? Who's the enemy that he's talking about? Izuku. So I was hoping that you wouldn't tell anyone about this information. Yuki and Yachiho. Got it then. So we're going to keep it a secret from everyone. Izuku sighs. What's your question now, senpai? Yuki. What's the name of your power? Izuku. It doesn't have a name, senpai. Yuki. Huh? Your power doesn't have a name? Izuku. Yeah, since this power of mine came from a very deadly anomaly. Yuki was about to speak up again until Yachiho interrupted him after hearing that Izuku have a power similar to them females. Yachiho. Wait, you have a peach ability just like us females? Raise her eyebrow. Izuku. My power is much different from you all females, Yachiho-san. Yachiho. Can you tell us the true name of your power? Izuku. Do you both heard about the SCP Foundation? Yuki and Yachiho. SCP Foundation? We haven't heard everything about it. Why do you ask? Confused. Izuku. Because my power came from the SCP Foundation. Yuki. Izuku, can you tell us about this SCP Foundation? Izuku. Well, the SCP Foundation is an organization that protects the humanity from all the anomalies around the world by containing them. Yachiho. Wait, they are responsible for containing the anomalies? Izuku. Yes, they are giving them all first before containing, then start to give them a code name after that. Yuki. So all of them are addressed by their code names? Izuku. You're correct, senpai. In that way, the scientists won't have any problem to start their experiment on them to know their behaviors, likes, dislikes, and etc. Yachiho. But how is your power related to it? Izuku. It's because the codename of my power is SCP-682. Yachiho and Yuki. SCP-682? What's that mean? Izuku. SCP-682 is a Kita-class type that is capable of killing humanity and destroy the entire universe itself. Yachiho and Yuki was speechless after hearing the codename of Izuku's power, but he isn't finished talking about it yet. Izuku. SCP-682 have a deadly ability that can adapt on anything that can kill him. Yuki. What's the name of that ability then? Izuku. It's called Superior Adaptation. Want me to show it to you both? Yachiho. Yeah, no, but you can show us your strength. Yuki shakes his head. No need for that one, Yachiho-san. Yachiho. Huh? What do you mean by that? Confused while looking at Yuki. Yuki. We've already felt the shockwave earlier. Isn't that enough proof to prove how strong Izuku is? Yachiho reluctantly nodded her head and didn't ask any questions until they noticed that Izuku is looking at something from a distance. Yuki. What are you looking at, Izuku? Izuku smirks. Something interesting is about to happen, senpai. Yuki. Huh? What do you mean? Izuku's body was changing while Yuki and Yachiho are shocked and very surprised on what's happening to Izuku's body right in front of them before Yuki decided to ask him a question. Yuki. What will you do then, Izuku? Izuku. Senpai, tell Kyuka-san that I'll be back later. Yuki. Okay, I'll tell Kyuka-san about it. Izuku. Thanks, senpai, smiles at Yuki. Yuki. No problem, Izuku. I should go and tell Kyuka-san about this. Yachiho. Yeah, I'll stay here for a while. Yuki runs back inside the dorm, leaving Yachiho behind with Izuku before she asked him about his plan. Yachiho. Midoriya, what's your plan? Izuku. I don't need a plan besides. Izuku's voice begins to change as well, which makes Yachiho step back away from him a little bit. Izuku, half monster. I'll destroy all the shukis that stand in my way. Yachiho. Don't be ridiculous, Midoriya. You're just going to destroy them head-on with no plan? Izuku, half monster. Yeah, that's my idea to begin with. Yachiho. What happened if they manage to kill you? Izuku, half monster. Kill me? Ha! They can try, but that won't work. Yachiho. And why is that? Izuku, half monster. It's because I am the unkillable monster, Yachi. Izuku, half monster, begins to run towards the location, breaking the sound barrier while leaving Yachiho behind with a shocking expression on her face, seeing how fast Izuku was. Yachiho, on the other hand, is still looking at where Izuku runs to with a small blush on her face after she heard the nickname that Izuku gave her. Yachiho tried to shake off her thoughts about the nickname while she's trying to figure out what was Izuku looking at the distance. Yachiho, the unkillable monster, mumbled, not knowing someone have heard her. Sahara. What do you mean by unkillable monster, Yaki? Yachiho. Yachiho looked at her side and saw Sahara appear along with the 7th unit just arrive after they've heard something, then went outside to take a look. They saw Yachiho standing outside the dorm while looking at the certain person disappearing from afar. Shushu. Yachiho, do you know where did Midoriya went? Yachiho. About that, Midoriya have to run towards that location. Yachiho pointed her finger in front of them to show where did Izuku, half monster, have run towards. Himari. Did he said something before leaving? Yuki. Izuku said something interesting is about to happen. Sahara. Something interesting is about to happen? What does he mean by that? Yachiho. We don't know either, but I think Chief Yuzin already knows it. Himari. Are you sure about that one, Nei-san? Yuki. Yeah, I think Kyuka-san already knows about it, Himari. With Izuku. While running at the Mach speed, Izuku, half monster, had already killed lots of shukis on his way towards the certain location. Izuku, half monster, sensed something different between the shukis and the trio standing in front of him before he could speak up with them. One of the humanoid shuki used her hair to attack Izuku, half monster, while the 2 humanoid shukis rushes in towards him. The 3 humanoid shukis decided on calling out their pets while Izuku wanted to his full monster form in order to show them who's the real enemy. Before that even happened, Izuku sensed a familiar aura from one of the humanoid shukis, then tried to speak up with them for the 2nd time. Izuku changed back to his human form, surprising the humanoid shukis, while the 3 pets of the 3 humanoid shukis was seen standing behind their owners. Izuku. Can we not fight and talk this out? I want to make a deal with you, 3-inch. Then can you tell us the reason on why should we listen to your deal? Izuku. Because I know something that you don't even know. That is, what exactly do you know? Izuku. About the Onmu agency. We already know about that one. Izuku. Looks like making a deal with you 3 are no go. Can we just stop talking and start on Fig Dash? Izuku appeared in front of the 3 and delivered a heavy blow to S' stomach, sending her flying back, which surprised the other 2. S' pet decided to attack Izuku, but he managed to block the punch with his right arm. Then he carried S' pet on his back before slamming it on the ground with force. Izuku. If only you 3 have agreed to my deal, then maybe I can help you out. What do you even know about the Onmu agency? Izuku. Let's just say someone asked me to take down the Onmu agency. But the Anti-Demon Corps are the ones protecting the Onmu agency. Besides, we can handle them all by ourselves since we already have an army of shukis. Izuku. An army? Oh, you mean all the shukis that I've killed on the way here? What do you want from us anyway? Izuku. I just want a dash. Izuku looked behind and saw someone heading their way before looking back at Izuku. You 3 go hide somewhere. What will you do then? Izuku. I'll handle them by myself. Do you think that you can handle them all by yourself? Izuku. Who do you think created the shockwave earlier? Izuku's eyes changed into monstrous eyes while his body was beginning to change as well, surprising the 3 even more. Izuku dashes forward, leaving the three humanoid shukis behind while they are watching him moving away in order to confront someone. Chapter 10: Killing the God and Rairan's True Form. Izuku's eyes change into monstrous eyes while his body was beginning to change as well, surprising the three even more. Izuku dashes forward, leaving the three humanoid shukis behind while they are watching him moving away in order to confront someone. Then one of the Humiliated shukis have decided to ask some question about Izuku, who is now running towards a certain location. Who the hell is he anyway? I don't know his name, but I can tell that he's strong? Not just strong, but he's also deadly as hell. And, looked back at? What do you mean by that? Didn't you two just felt the powerful shockwave from earlier? The two of them have finally realized who Izuku is right after? Reminded the two of them on how deadly his shockwave is. Izuku's powerful shockwave from earlier is only half of his strength while sharing control with SCP-682, but if Izuku just lets 682 takes control over his entire body, then something will happen on the dimension. The Anti-Demon Corps didn't know this information, and that includes the 8 gods of thunder, but it was only Yuki and Yachiho know this since Izuku have told them the truth about his deadly power. Freddy, FCK this mistake. All the people in the Anti-Demon Corps and the whole government didn't know about Izuku's very dangerous power that is now living alongside with them. Jason, why do you have to say a bad word after making a single mistake, Freddy? Freddy, you got a problem with it, Jason. Freddy have stopped on writing, then walks towards Jason and stops in front of him, while looking straight at his eyes with the intention to kill, but Jason didn't even budge a bit on Freddy's provocation and starts staring at him very serious. Jason, do you want me to kill you again just like how I killed you last time? Freddy prepared his claws while Jason is already holding his signature weapon, a machete, and both of them have started on releasing their deadly aura towards each other to show who's the superior. Jason and Freddy looked at each other one last time before they begin their fight to the death to show who's the superior and the weakling. Dean appears right between the two of them and managed to stop the upcoming fight of two killers. Dean, Freddy, you have already made 2 mistakes, so stop it now or else. Freddy, or else what, huh? You think I'm scared of you, Dean? Dean, are you challenging me in a fight to the death? Dean is looking at Freddy's direction and released his aura while Jason steps back, knowing that Dean was more superior than him. Jason, well, let's go back into the story now. Izuku arrived at the certain location and tries to land his first hit using his left fist on the enemy. Saw Izuku's fist coming towards her, then tried to block it by using her right hand while she was preparing to strike back on Izuku the moment she stopped his attack. Izuku positioned himself and prepared for his first move, only to surprise them by delivering a powerful kick towards her stomach, which makes her caught off guard, and strong shockwave have sent her back flying by force. Izuku then puts back his right leg on the ground while still looking in the direction of before taking into his battle stance. SCP-682, well kid, it looks like you have to show these 3 puny gods who's the superior here once again. Izuku, 3 gods? What do you mean by that, 682? I don't see the other 2. SCP-682, well, I didn't know that they can hide themselves against you, but not to me. Izuku, or maybe they are just scared on fighting me since we've already take 3 gods down for good all on our own. SCP-682, they are just cocky, kid, that's all, and also, the 2 gods are hiding inside the card of that god who is standing in front of you right now. Izuku, yeah, I've already know that 682, but SCP-682, if you have a plan in mind, kid, smirks, do it. Izuku, oh, no need to tell me about that 682. Izuku decided to use one of 682's ability, and starts on duplicating himself into 10 clones. Gets up after taking the strong kick from Izuku. She begin to throw 2 cards in the air, then the other gods of thunder have starting to show themselves up out from the card, but one of them is Rairan themselves. Rairan, I'm now back with a vengeance to take down an obsolete like you. Izuku, half monster, suddenly smirks. You really never learn, do you? Rairan, the word learn doesn't belong to a being like me, a god. Today is the day that you'll die in our hands, you damn obsolete. Izuku, half monster. God my ass! I have already taken you down along with those two useless gods, and now I will prove it again with this new attack. Izuku have released a lightning from the sky, and it land a strike on the three gods without them even noticing the attack in the sky. Then Izuku have managed to create a smokescreen through that attack. Reiren have realized that his own move was used against him, but it was more powerful while shouts in pain after taking the hit, increasing the damage that she received from earlier in the stomach. Immediately puts her right hand in her stomach because the damage she got is too powerful, and it leaves a big scar on her stomach. Reiren, did the obsolete just use one of my attack against me? To a god like me. That's it. This obsolete will die. Damn it. Juria is right. He's more powerful than her, but he still doesn't even know our full capabilities. Reiren, come on out from that smoke now, you damn obsoletes, so that we can kill you here ourselves. Three gods are overconfident that they can take Izuku in his half-monster form down all by themselves until a voice was heard in the smoke. Izuku, half-monster clone 3. I hope that you three gods are ready to die, shouts from the smoke. Izuku, half-monster, smacks his clone 3's head. You idiot, stop shouting or else you will reveal our location. Izuku, half-monster clone 7, looking at them. Damn, getting smacked in the head by the real one is an insult to our pride. Izuku, half-monster clone 10, silently looking at them while being alert. Izuku, half-monster clone 4. Hey, what's the matter with him? Looked at clone 5. Izuku, half-monster clone 5. It's for the best if we both stay silent like he is doing right now. Izuku's clones in his half-monster form have a mind of its own, similar to Naruto's shadow clone jutsu, but only with the attitude and emotion, since Izuku's clones are all made by 682's ability. Izuku, half-monster clone 8. Let's just finish this fight and kill them all. Izuku, half-monster clone 9. That's the plan to begin with, am I right? Look back. Izuku, half-monster clone 1. What do you think? Does he really have different plan for the three pathetic gods? Looking back at clone 9. Izuku's 8th clone rushed in towards the three, and other clones followed it back, leaving the real one from behind. Then one of these three gods starts to make her move. The two gods didn't know that Izuku's real target was not them but only Reiren, since he was the most cocky one, and he wants to show them how deadly he really is. Izuku had delivered a powerful kick right on Reiren's gut, sending him flying, while Izuku's clones are rushing towards him, not giving Reiren a chance to make his move. Izuku's clones have decided to attack the two gods while Izuku busy on fighting off Reiren, but their battle is only a one-sided fight since Izuku have enough on Reiren and he doesn't want to let him live, knowing that his senpai and his friends will be fighting the 8 gods of thunder. Reiren was sent flying once again after he took the direct hit from Izuku's right fist, while Izuku in his half-monster form is now walking towards him before Izuku starts to speak up. Izuku, half-monster. How does it feel to be taken out by a monster during our second fight? Walks slowly towards Reiren. Reiren. A damn obsolete like you would never win against a god like me. Izuku, half-monster. If you're a god, then why don't you just prove it here by killing me right now? Reiren. Oh, I can do that. I will kill you, then we'll proceed to target the other obsoletes. Izuku, half-monster, stopped walking and didn't say any words. Reiren. What's wrong? Did my words age dash? Izuku appears right in front of Reiren and delivered an uppercut onto his face before following it up with a powerful kick which sent him flying up into the sky. Then Izuku aims his left arm onto Reiren, who is still in the air. Izuku, half-monster, still looking up in the sky. I'm going to protect the anti-demon core with my life, and if you all want to take them out, then you all have to pass through me. A very similar energy was starting to gather through Izuku's left palm, and it was ready to send to kill, like how Reiren used it against him during their first fight. Before he can notice it, the attack have hit him directly, causing an explosion to occur in the area. The two gods looked above on where the explosion came from, and they noticed that Reiren is the one that took Izuku's attack, which make an explosion to occur. Izuku already adapted on all Reiren's attack moves and used it against him, which the two gods didn't know about it since they thought that Izuku was an easy target for them to kill, but only Shikoku. Juryu and Reiren knows that Izuku is very dangerous and a very deadly being, that's why they prioritize on taking him out first before they take out the anti-demon core. After the explosion cleared out, Rairin was killed, shocking the two gods who are now struggling to fight off the clones while Izuku is still looking up at the sky. Izuku, half monster. One god down and two more gods to go. Izuku looks back at the two remaining gods while still releasing his deadly aura, showing them that he's not just an easy target, but their pride won't allow them to surrender. Izuku screeched loudly at them, and all the shukis have beginning to rise up from the ground and start their attack at the two gods. One of the two thunder gods have switched her current form into a similar look with the commander of the anti-demon corps. Then started killing all of the shukis easily before looking straight at Izuku. Izuku, half monster, staring at her very intently. Is that all you got? Come on, fight me next and let's see who will win a fight between us. I think this is enough fighting for now. Stopped? Why are you stopping me? Looked at? Fukuma, didn't you saw what just happened to Rairin? Fukuma. I saw it, but what does it have something to do with me challenging this monster? Because Juri told us that he was capable of adopting on the fight anytime. Fukuma. So what do you want us to do then? Let's go retreat for now and make a plan on how to kill him first. The two gods have teleported away as Izuku, half monster, screeches loudly through the air that many of the shukis begin to rise up on the ground. Izuku have transformed back to his human form and he saw the two units are heading towards his location with Kyuka riding on Yuki's slave back. The two units were on guard as they saw all of the shukis rise up from the ground, but it didn't attack them. Yachiho. Why aren't they attacking us? Izuku. It was because of me, Yachi. Kyuka. It's because of you? But how? Izuku. Let's say that I've managed to use their ability to summon the shukis by adopting on it. Yuki, slave. So that's what you're trying to say earlier back at T-. Yachiho and Yuki, slave, looked at each other, then nodded both their heads after noticing the glance of Izuku in him, which he realized it immediately. Kyuka noticed Izuku's glance on Yuki, slave, and decides to ask him some question about it. Kyuka. What are you talking about just now, Yuki? Yuki, slave. It's nothing, Kyuka-san. Kyuka. Are you sure about that, Yuki? Yuki, slave. I'm sure of it, Kyuka-san. All of a sudden, 7th and 6th unit have felt something ominous from the sky, making them all looked above, then saw Rairin's true form in its glory. Izuku was smirking wickedly, seeing the true form of Rairin after he killed him by using his own ability, and the other gods have felt that Rairin is still alive. Izuku, should we reveal your true form in here 682? SCP-682, don't bother asking since it will be waste if you show my true form now. Izuku, how about your incomplete form? Is that alright? SCP-682, you can use that monster form, kid. Izuku, how scary are you in your true form 682? SCP-682, kid, my true form is much more scarier than your monster form. Izuku, wait, are you telling me that my monster form is your incomplete form? SCP-682, yes, and if you decide to show my true form here now, then I will be the one in control, and you already know how's that gonna end, right, kid? Izuku, knowing your mindset? Yeah, I've already know that outcome. SCP-682, no one can stop me once I'm in my true form in this universe, kid. Izuku, your true form will be our final card then? SCP-682, yes, you can use my true form as your final card, kid. Izuku, I got it 682. We'll use your true form as a last resort. Izuku have walked forward from the two units, then look up at Rairin's true form, making the girls look very shocked and surprised except for Yuki, slave, until Yachiho speaks up and calls his name. Yachiho. What will you gonna do against him, Midoriya? Izuku. I'm going to fight him all by myself, Yachi. Izuku looks back at Yachiho after he heard his name being called out by her, and Yuki, slave, realized what Izuku is going to do. Yachiho. Do you think you can win against that thing? Izuku. You'll have to trust me on this, Yachi. Yachiho. Yuki, slave. You're going to use that form in here? Right in front of them? Izuku. That god have left me with no other choice, senpai. Yuki, slave. Izuku, you know what will happen once you reveal that form, right? Izuku. Yeah, there's no turning back here now. Yuki slave. Go ahead, Izuku. That god is all yours. Yuki, slave, stepped back, making the 7th unit and Kyuka with a surprised look in their eyes while wondering on what Yuki, slave, and Izuku was talking about. Izuku have walked forward as his body began to change, then grow tall with 4 spiked tails appearing on his back, while both of his arms and legs have changed into a monster's part. The 7th and 6th unit were surprised to see Izuku in his full monster form except for Yuki, slave, after seeing his right hand transforms into a monstrous hand. The 8 gods of thunder thought that both 6th and 7th units are all dead after Reirin reveals its true form, not thinking that Izuku is still alive. Reirin, true form. Now all of you shall face a good death. Yachiho. No way we're going to fight that thing here. Yuki, slave. We won't fight that god, Yachiho-san. Yachiho. And why is that, Yuki? Can you tell us? Yuki, slave. Izuku plans to fight it by himself, and we are all no match to that god in our current state. Himari. You have a valid point there, Yuki. Kyuka. Do you think he can defeat that god all by himself, Yuki? Yuki, slave. I already know that, since Izuku is more deadlier and dangerous than anyone else in this dimension. Izuku in his full monster form looks up, then lets out a very loud screech that shakes the entire dimension, making the gods and other units feel his presence with them. Yachiho was scared after seeing Izuku's full monster form in front of them before he looked back at the 7th and 6th units with his monster eyes. Izuku, monster form, have jumped in the air and start attacking Reirin, true form, while both units were watching them fight from the ground until Tenka arrived in their current location. Tenka. What's going on here? Because I felt a tremor from the headquarter. Sahara. Chief, you're back. Izuku is facing a god by himself. Tenka. What? Why didn't you all help him? Kyuka. We want to help him also, but... Tenka. But what, Kyuchin? Yachiho. Look up, Chief, and you'll see what is going on. Tenka begins to feel the tremor of the ground and looks up in the sky, only to see that Izuku, monster form, is now fighting Reirin, true form, in an aerial battle. Both of their attacks are making the entire Mato dimension tremble, that even the 3 Humiliated shuki have come to their current location and saw the battle of 2 dangerous beings. Chapter 11. Tenka begins to feel the tremor of the ground and looks up in the sky, only to see that Izuku, monster form, is now fighting Reirin, true form, in an aerial battle. Both of their attacks are making the entire Mato dimension tremble, that even the 3 Humiliated shuki have come to their current location and saw the battle of 2 dangerous beings. Izuku, monster form, still keeps on delivering deadly attacks on Reirin, true form, even though he just flicks them back on the ground shake while he retaliated on Izuku, monster form. Yachiho. So that's... Speechless on what she's watching in front of them right now. Yuki, slave. Yes, that is Izuku's monster form. Watching Izuku's monster form fighting against Reirin's true form. Himari. I don't know if anyone can fight him in that form. Kyuka. Kyuka remained silent, but her entire body was shaking in fear while watching on Izuku, monster form, taking on Reirin in its true form. Tenka walked over towards Kyuka and put her hand right onto Kyuka's shoulder, which makes her look at Tenka. Tenka. Hey, what's wrong now, Kyuchin? Worried about Kyuka. Kyuka. It's nothing, Tenka. Shakes off her head and tries to calm down. Tenka. Are you sure, Kyuchin? Kyuka. Yes, I'll be just fine, Tenka. Yuki, slave, noticed this as well and walked towards his master, making Tenka and one of the humanoid shuki to turn their heads, then looked over at Yuki in his slave form. Yuki, slave. I'm sorry for not telling you earlier about Izuku's monster form, Kyuka-san. Sounded apologetic to Kyuka, his master, while still in his slave form, for not telling her about Izuku's ability. Tenka. Wait, that is Midoriya's monster form? Didn't believe Yuki at first. Yuki, slave. Yes, Tenka-san, that is his monster form. Tenka was surprised after hearing it from Yuki and seeing it for the first time, while Kyuka wants to know more about Izuku's ability that makes him transform into a monster. Kyuka. How did you even know about that, Yuki? Intrigued with Izuku's ability to turn into a monster after hearing it from Yuki. Yuki, slave. From back then, I saw his right arm had already transformed into a monster arm and protected me from the shuki. Kyuka. So that's why we didn't see you there, because you were running to a safe spot? Finally realized why Yuki went to a more safe spot waiting for their rescue while Izuku fights off the shukis to give him some time back then. Yuki, slave. Yeah, Izuku didn't want me to get hurt while waiting for the rescue, so he gave me some time to run away for my safety. Himari. So that's why you were so afraid, as if you've seen a ghost or something the first time we meet you. Surprised to hear Yuki's full explanation about their first meeting. Shushu. To be honest, after seeing his full monster form, I have one thing in mind. Yachiho. You're not the only one who have the same thing in mind. Back with Izuku versus Reiren. Izuku, monster form, keeps on attacking Reiren with his tail whips along with all the shukis assisting him, but somehow Reiren managed to wipe out the shukis in a single attack. Izuku, monster form, fires an energy blast from his mouth towards Reiren, which took him a lot of damage before he lets out a loud screech. SCP-682, well, what's your plan now, kid? Izuku, I'm still thinking about it. 682, why? SCP-682, this cocky god can take all your attacks casually, kid. Izuku, I know, but I don't have any idea what kind of attack I'll do next. SCP-682, running out of ideas, kid? I can only give you one single idea, but there's a huge consequences behind if you accept. Izuku, then tell me about it. 682, because I'm running out of idea. SCP-682, let me take over, kid, only in this fight. Izuku, huh? Why now of all things 682? Surprise on what 682 suggested. SCP-682, we both need to finish up this fight, kid, since I'm getting bored now with this cocky god. Izuku didn't say anything back to 682 after realizing that he's also getting bored if they still continued on fighting Reiren in its true form any longer, and finally decided to let 682 take over his body. Izuku, fine, I will let you take over me and finish this fight. SCP-682, finally I can finish this useless fight. Izuku, but I need to know something. 682. SCP-682, HM? What is it, kid? Izuku, do we have to ally ourselves with the anti-demon core? Or not? SCP-682, what's your choice, kid? It's your own body. Izuku start to think about the choices of allying himself with anti-demon core or taking a solo route, then finally decide what choice he pick. Izuku, well then I've made my choice now. 682. SCP-682, that's more like a kid. 682 smirks after realizing the choice that Izuku picked for the rest of his life. Then he begins to attack Reiren, true form, with more aggressive attacks that forced him to take all the shockwave of 682's deadly attack. Reiren, true form, was taking a lot of damages and surprised on how deadly the attacks that SCP-682 releases against him without giving any mercy. The ground, no, the entire Mato dimension are now shaking due to the rapid attacks of SCP-682 releasing. Reiren didn't have any chance to fight back against 682, not even with its true form, and decided to fall back now since he already took a lot of deadly attacks coming from SCP-682 alone. SCP-682 looked behind at the 7th and 6th units for a second before letting out a loud roar, then turns around the other direction and started running away from the anti-demon core. Yuki, slave. Izuku, Y- was about to chase after 682 until he felt a hand on his shoulder and looked behind. Yachiho, I think we should let him be. Put her hand onto Yuki's, slave, right shoulder, stopping him to chase after Izuku. Yuki, slave. But why? Looked over towards Yachiho while waiting for her answer. Yachiho sighs. Yuki, I think he already made his decision right in the middle of their fight. Himari, he made his decision? What do you mean by that? Got confused on what Yachiho was talking about. Shushu, guys? What should we do about these 3 shukis over here? Pointing at the 3 humanoid shukis right beside them. Kyuka remained silent after witnessing the battle of 2 powerful monsters and seeing Reiren retreated due to the heavy damage he sustained even with his true form right after Izuku let SCP-682 took over his body. The three humanoid shukis were also in shock and surprised on what they just saw now, but they didn't even bother to know that they're now standing right beside the 7th unit territory while watching the whole battle. Tenka. I didn't know that Izuku was this powerful. Surprised on watching Izuku's display of power in his monster form. Himari. What should we do about this, Chief? Looked at Kyuka, who is still silent. Kyuka, Tenka, decides to speak up, then called out Tenka's name. Tenka. What is a Kyuchin? Looked over at Kyuka after hearing her name being called. Kyuka. We won't say anything about this fight to the commander and the other unit chiefs. Tenka. Of course, Kyuchin, but I doubt that the commander and the other chiefs will let this one slide, since that single attack from Izuku's monster form have shocked the entire Mato dimension. Kyuka. It's better this way, since this is our first time seeing him in his monster form as our new ally and not our enemy for now. Tenka. You think the Onmya agency and the commander will do something about this fight, Kyuchin? Kyuka. Knowing the commander, I think she will do something, that's for sure. Yuki, Slave, and one of the humanoid shukis start to look at each other from eye to eye while the two humanoid shukis are preparing on defending their sister. Himari, Yachiho, Sahara, and Shushu are also preparing to defend Yuki, Slave, from the three humanoid shukis until Kyuka and Tenka notice this. Tenka. Hey, what's going on? He saw the three humanoid shukis and ready to defend Yuki, Slave, as well. Kyuka. Yuki! Yells out her slave's name, which one of the humanoid shuki realizes who the slave is. Yuki? Looked over at the slave one more time and realized who it was. Yuki, Slave, looked at his master after hearing his name yelled out, and saw that Kyuka is showing a different expression until one of the humanoid shukis have decided to speak up. Are you really my little brother? Asked Yuki, Slave, which makes him surprised on her sudden question. Yuki, Slave. What do you mean by my little brother? But I have a big sister who disappeared during the Mato disaster, answered the question of a humanoid shuki. Oh really? What's her name then? Asked Yuki about his big sister name. Yuki, Slave. So why are you now interested in my big sister's name? And you still haven't answered my question earlier, staring intently at the humanoid shuki. Is it bad to know the name of your big sister? Besides, your name is kinda familiar to me. Staring straight at Yuki, Slave, and not batting an eye on others. Yuki, Slave. Answer my question. Who is your little brother? Prepared himself to attack her. If you want to know, well, I guess I have to tell you about him. Yuki, Slave. Go on then. Waiting for her to answer his question. First off, my little brother's name is Yuki Wakura, and second, he is the most handsome man in the world, answered Yuki's question. Yuki, Slave. That's my name. How do you know my name? Surprised on hearing his own name coming out from one of the humanoid shuki's mouth. Oh? Don't tell me you already forgot the name of your big sister. Slowly walked towards Yuki, Slave. Yuki, Slave. I know my big sister's name, but why do you know about her anyway? It's only fair for both of us because I told you the name of my little brother. Yuki, Slave. Fine, my big sister's name is Aoba Wakura. Revealing his big sister's name to the humanoid shuki. There, are you happy now? What? Froze in place after hearing her name from Yuki's mouth. Can you say it again one more time? Yuki, Slave. Okay, my big sister's name is Aoba Wak. Then finally recognized who the humanoid shuki standing in front of him. Izuku, Duplicate, is watching the two units and Yuki, Slave, who is standing right in front of the three humanoid shukis silently from the roof on the 7th unit dormitory while they are facing off one another, not knowing that any eye already noticed his presence. Izuku, Duplicate, turns around then jumps down from the rooftop before disappearing completely out of sight. Any eye is surprised after sensing that Izuku, Duplicate, have completely disappeared from her clairvoyance, and tries to look for him before deciding to tell Kyuka about it once they are all back inside the dorm. Meanwhile with Izuku. Izuku, what should we do now? 682. Izuku is now walking in the Valley of Mato Dimension after running away from the two units, and make rear and retreat back to their base while thinking of something else to do. SCP-682, well, you should start training in order to get stronger, kid. Izuku, you want me to start my training? Why? SCP-682, you have to master all my abilities if you want to fight those pathetic gods again. Izuku, I guess so, but where do I start my training then? 682. SCP-682, you can start right now, kid. Izuku, huh? What are Y-? Izuku have stopped walking and looks around to see that many shuki begin to rise up from the ground, which makes 682 smirks knowing that there are a lot of test subjects. SCP-682, we can use these shukis as test subjects for my abilities, kid. Izuku, test subjects, huh? Well, I guess I can start my training here now. SCP-682, kid, you're going to fight these test subjects as a human, and don't even use your half-monster or monster form. Izuku, huh? But why am I not allowed? I'm using my half-monster form. 682. SCP-682, this is your training, kid, don't try or started relying too much on your half-monster form. You already saw those two units with their members earlier that they can fight all these shukis with this so-called peach abilities. Izuku reluctantly taken to his fighting stance right before going to rush in the hordes of shukis without using his half-monster form on 682's request. SCP-682, use everything in your arsenal, kid, don't be afraid to use my abilities while you are still in human form. SCP-682 just watched mentally as Izuku was taking out the shukis without the use of his half-monster form while only allowed to use all the abilities of 682, but all the shukis kept on rising up to attack him. Izuku, they just won't stop appearing one after the another. SCP-682, then you have to continue the training, kid. Izuku, you do know that I need to have a break after this training, right? 682. SCP-682, I know that, but let me ask you this question, kid, will those pathetic gods give you any time to rest? Izuku, of course, they won't give me time to rest nor come up with a plan. 682. SCP-682, exactly, kid, that's why I'm not giving you any break either, in order for me to know your limits, kid. Izuku didn't hesitate to start attacking more shukis on the field once again, while the two units have already went back to the 7th unit dormitory without Tenka. Nei had also explained what she saw to Kyuka by using her clairvoyance, while Yuki went back into his human form, then look over at Kyuka knowing the upcoming compensation right before doing the chores once again as the 7th unit's caretaker. The three humanoid shukis have also returned back to their hideout right after knowing that her little brother is still okay, but he's working with the 7th unit as their caretaker and Kyuka's slave. Rayern, on the other hand, retreated back to their hideout while still covered in so many bruises and heavily damaged after receiving both SCP-682 and Izuku's deadly attacks combined. Tenka have arrived in the Anti-Demon Corps main headquarters, then start to walk to the commander's room before starting to report everything, but didn't include Izuku's monster form and the fight against Rayern in its true form on her report to the commander, while the commander begins to get interested on Izuku even more. Izuku is seen taking out many shukis left and right while still in his human form, with his both arms changed into a monster's arms, training himself in order to handle the power of SCP-682. Then suddenly he collapsed on the ground with a heavy breathing. Izuku, these shukis are insane. Panting heavily due to fighting the shukis nonstop. SCP-682, what? Are you tired already, kid? Izuku, give me a rest. 682, I'm a human, you know, and not a monster like you who have unlimited stamina. SCP-682, sure thing, kid, and also it was a correct decision to separate yourself from them. Izuku, well, I know that the 7th unit and their chief can take care of Senpai. SCP-682, it was more like he's the one taking care of them by himself, not the other way around, kid. Izuku, Senpai did say that he's good at household chores because of his big sister. SCP-682, find somewhere else safe to lay down for now, kid, you need to rest and regain your energy. Izuku, thank you for being generous to me. 682. SCP-682, what can I say, kid? You are a very interesting human than the other humans back in my universe. Izuku, why do you find me that interesting? 682. Izuku, can you explain to me about your universe in full details, including yourself? I want to know more about you. SCP-682 begins to explain everything to Izuku about its universe and why they are all called entities by the humanity after realizing that they have the capacity of taking out the entire world on their own except for the few of them who is still in the same facility. Izuku is now surprised by this revelation and looked at the sky upon hearing SCP-682's full explanation in details about its universe, then realized that humanity's lives are now in his hand. Izuku, I should have known that you're even more dangerous than I thought. 682. SCP-682, so you did a research about us entities, huh, kid? Izuku, of course I did. I don't think any of the heroes back in my universe will able to take down any entities such as yourself. SCP-682, even if your entire world unite, they won't win against an entity such as myself. Izuku, that's true since you are considered as Kita class entity by the SCP Foundation. SCP-682, so which one of the entities that got you interested in, kid? Izuku, I was interested to you. 682 and decides to dig more information about your entire race.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown in left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.